Well, hello there. Long time no see, all of my fellow nerds. It's been a hot minute. We are glad to see you guys as handsome and beautiful faces once again. This is you're now tuned in to season 3, episode 6, Saturday Night Nerds live stream and podcast. And today I got Will could not make it, so well wishes to my bro. Cameron is in the house,
Going on.
and we got Kim Pachi subbing in as well. So we may or may not see the Nerd King Danny Stewart. He might pop in maybe a little bit later in the stream, but there's a lot of service issues out where he's at right now. So Godspeed with him and his internet connection because he's out in Branson. So yes, sir. And the first comment of the night is Willie Mack, ladies and gentlemen. He's over at that Feeling Podcast Network. If you are not familiar, that's home to several different podcasts. You got No Gimmicks, Smoke Pit. Excuse me, my mouth is flipping over itself, and it's one of my favorites. And then you got Queens of Nerdum and the Patio and a couple other hot topics. So you can go to Spotify to check out all the different shows that they have, and then they have a merge website. So if you can't find them on any streaming platform, you can always find them on social media under that Feeling Podcast Network. And then they have a couple Facebook groups for fans that you can go to see what all they have going on. So for tonight's show, we're going to be talking about like everything that happened in the month of June for nerd culture. And we got straight out the gate Transformers Rise of the Beast, and then we'll go into maybe like covering Secret Invasion episode 1. And we may talk about Flash a little bit, Demon Slayer, Swordsmith Village arc, and then cap it off with what was the third topic? The third topic was Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. So I have all the banners ready to go, and I just couldn't remember the name for the life of me. But let's see. So we'll get right into the theme song, and then hopefully you guys enjoy the show.
Is the best thing what? Exactly.
Let's go. Welcome back, everybody, to season 3, episode 6 of Saturday Night Nerds live stream and podcast. I'm your host, Deontay the Giant, with my fellow co-hosts, Cameron and Kenpachi.
How we doing?
Yes, Lord. It's another day, another dollar, and we got an entire month of nerd culture stuff to cover. So without further ado, we'll jump right into topic number 1, which is Transformers Rise of the Beast. So I'm not sure if you've seen it, Kenpachi, but me and Cameron went to go see it at some point like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, you saw when it came out.
What's that?
You saw it when it came out.
Oh, did he go before us or?
No. I just recently watched it.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, me and Cameron went. I think it with Blake. We went with Blake the first week it came out. I don't know if we went that Thursday or that Friday. I couldn't remember.
It should have been the Thursday. Blake's usually like only on Thursdays now lately.
Yeah, we went to a couple movies on like the Thursday night this month. We went to see like Flash on premiere night.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man. Yeah, we've seen like 3 movies on a Thursday this month.
And if anything, we'll probably go see.
Y'all been busy.
Yeah.
It's been a busy month, and if anything, we'll probably go see Indiana Jones this Thursday too.
Yeah, man, that Thursday snuck up on us fast. I don't know why I put Jacob's Film Perspectives up there. It's like, dang it, I clicked on Rise of the Beast and
Get it together.
got the wrong TV show, dude. It's like, dang it. That was definitely a fairly decent Transformer movie. It was better than
Decent. I think it's one of the best ones.
It really is. I wasn't too crazy about the Michael Bay run, but
well, when they first started out, like they were really great, like just explosive and new territory. But as they kept going, granted, I love Transformers, but as they kept going, they were just like there's explosions and just like so and so and just But I don't know. It's
the slow motion and the
yes.
And
key notes in a Michael Bay movie, not just a Transformers Michael Bay movie, and any Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, yes. you hear that sound effect. You it's either inspired by him or that is him.
The Turtles movie, Ambulance, just anything that he's directed.
Yeah, I still haven't seen his Michael Bay Turtles movie.
They're decent. They're not terrible. Like despite what the public says, I like them. They're not the originals, but still. But
they were definitely okay. Those are the ones that had
Megan Fox.
What's that?
Megan Fox is April O'Neil.
Right. I was talking about as Casey Jones.
Oh, Stephen Amell. They got Stephen Amell. They got Stephen Amell as Casey in the second one, which
I don't know about you guys, but that's why I went to see the movie, was to see Green Arrow as Casey Jones. And he didn't disappoint.
I did not.
I loved both of them because of him. And then, I don't know, the Raft was really different but exceptional in those movies. I loved how he was kind of a monster.
That was the guy who starred in Monk like all those years ago.
There's a lot of Monk watching in my house too. My family loves that show.
He played Splinter in the newer movies, but no, let's take a step back to Transformers. Kenny, since you saw it just like recently, you tell us what you thought.
I really enjoyed the fact that it was sort of a step away from exactly what you're saying. My favorite Transformers movie has been Bumblebee, and I know that's weird. So, like,
it's one of my favorites too. It's not weird at all.
I did not. I just didn't see that coming. Yeah, that is a good pick though.
I'm probably weird that I liked all of them so far. I didn't dislike any single Transformers movie. I did get tired of all the Michael Bay crap. It's just the same thing over and over again, but
everyone does
Transformers,
eventually.
So I didn't mind watching them. This one, I liked the fact that it stepped away from, like, it wasn't all about the Transformers. The people in it played a part. There was sort of a mystery that they were figuring out. I mean, it was all pretty predictable in that aspect, but it was enjoyable to watch. The fight scenes were good and well done. The combiners. I like that they touched on the combiners. I don't know if that was something in the comic books, but how Mirage wrapped around Noah. That was something I remembered from some of the cartoons back in the day.
You know what? Now that you're mentioning it, I do remember the combiners. Yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But no, I absolutely agree with you. Because they kept like the live action, like the in person human cast very small. I like that a lot because it gave more focus to the Transformers themselves, Optimus, Mirage, the Terracons, the Maximals. They actually focused on what we're wanting to see, but it still kept the human aspect. Like I thought they did a great job with the cast for sure, and especially with. Dude, I wasn't for some reason I was not expecting to hear Pete Davidson's voice when Mirage was speaking. I was like, "Oh, what the hell?"
You know, Kanye boycotting this movie.
He was actually I actually liked him as Mirage. He was really good. He was really funny and just like he was a really good choice. They did a really good choice for like all the casting in this for sure. And
I feel like, I feel like he improv'd Mirage. Honestly,
I would think he would have.
Yeah.
He did absolutely. Like, because he's Pete Davidson, he's a comedian, and Mirage is young. He's just like going off by what he thinks. So yeah, it makes sense that he would go just improv.
Yeah.
I guess I relate to like mid-20s females because I like Pete Davidson. You know.
Oh, I like Pete Davidson too.
He's cool.
He's definitely cool. He's definitely cool. Like, I know some people aren't a fan of him or like think he's overrated, but no, he's a good actor. He's funny as hell when it's done right, and yeah, he's great. I just was not expecting it.
I honestly feel like he just getting it in, and people are hating on him because he just dated like a whole list of some of the top crushes of all time.
True, like
that's why people don't like him.
Didn't he date Megan Fox?
If he has it, she might be next. But they used to go.
He would have to go through Machine Gun Kelly in order. To get so
and they're best friends. They're best freaking friends.
Oh,
so for them to like trade off girlfriends, like, all right, MGK, you date Kim Kardashian, and I date Megan. It's just like, what?
That's a whole nother thing. Lord, but
top tier wife swapping.
Oh,
yeah, it's just like, dude, how much crazier can your life get? You went from Kate Beckinsale to Ariana. I'm probably not even in the right order. Yeah, it's
true.
Kate Beckinsale, Ariana Grande, and then like a couple others.
He went from pop star to underworld vampire to reality star.
And he was engaged to Ariana Grande. This is just like, bro, what?
I remember that. Yeah, that's too.
And he's probably got a couple more exes before he even met Kim. So it's his list is uncalled for.
Right, but no, and also what Kenny said about the combiners, I thought that was because that's like something that we would want ourselves, like a little miniature like Transformers suit that we can so we can be in the fight. Dude, I was like telling like Blake right next to me, dude, I haven't even had this before in a movie. Like, oh my god. Like, that was so sick. That was like, oh my gosh, I want one. Give me one.
Honestly, I would have thrown down with him just to get me one of those suits. That suit was lit.
Oh my gosh.
Shoot, the suit was pretty cool. I honestly wanted I can't remember the beasts.
The Maximals.
The Maximals, yeah. I wanted to see them transform a little bit too.
I mean, we did get to see them a little bit, but near the end. But still,
they weaponized themselves a little bit. But I wanted them to see like go all out. Let me show you like, because I grew up with I don't know if it was Beast Wars or just Transformers, like something Beast.
Probably would have been Beast Wars.
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars was like a huge like staple for like the Maximals and like Predacons and all that. Like, it's like Danny's like favorite like series.
Yeah,
I grew up with Cheetor.
That has the Maximals and the Predacons in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because growing up, all the Optimus Prime that I knew, he was always a gorilla. I didn't see the truck Optimus Prime until like 2000s.
Which is why they have Optimus Primal in that voice by the legendary Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Blade from Teen Titans, Hellboy. He's been in just about everything. So, yes, God, I love Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman is a freaking. He's my favorite Hellboy we've gotten so far. He was the first. Yeah, he was
the best.
The OG.
And also, if anyone didn't recognize her voice, that was Michelle Yeoh, who was Airazor, the bird.
Yeah, I'm in love with her. That is a queen.
I mean, she's been in just about everything too, and now like getting like her recognition now more than ever. But they've got some top tier voices. And Peter Dinklage, he was the leader. He was Scourge.
He was Scourge.
Yeah, that was Peter Dinklage.
I didn't.
I
didn't
never
even
saw
look
the
up
credits.
cast, but
Yeah.
You could hear it a little bit, but just barely, but still. But the voice that surprised me the most, like outside of Pete Davidson, was the voice for Unicron, who was Coleman Domingo. If anyone doesn't know, Coleman Domingo,
Yeah.
he's one of the stars for Fear the Walking Dead. He's Victor Strand. He's great on that series. And just, I could hear it definitely in the voice. And I was like, oh my God. Strand.
Who did Coleman Domingo play again?
And he was Unicron. He was the planet.
Nice. That's a really he's gonna get his name on the map for that. Honestly,
if he hasn't, he's definitely on the map already. That is gonna
Yeah.
make sure he gets on it more.
yeah, that'll seal the deal, because that's the guy that me and some people from the group, we want him to be Blue Marvel for Marvel.
Ooh, okay.
The MCU Blue Marvel. That's the guy that we got to don the suit. And I love Coleman Domingo.
Oh, absolutely. He's a great actor for sure. He's definitely like top tier for sure.
Yeah, I think my problem was as soon as I saw the trailer, I was interested in seeing the Maximals, but at the same time the trailer kind of just weirded me out. So I just like, I'm go to the movies, I'm gonna see it, and I'm just not gonna care who's cast.
Probably because it's just like it gave off a different vibe. It was something different than we haven't seen, obviously, because they are all directed by Michael Bay. But it got me excited. The trailer got me excited because like it felt like a real Transformers movie, like actual like a full scale like battlefield with Transformers.
Yeah, Scourge and his little crew are some powerful mofos, man.
No joke. And
they were.
It was. We only got to dive into like Scourge as like a hunter, kind of like how Lockdown was, but but still, like they were terrifying. And also, like what shocked me, and like I'm so glad it didn't stick. And apologies for anyone who hasn't seen this movie and is about to be spoiled, but it's your own fault.
Spoiling that, yeah.
But dude, the fact that they actually killed Bumblebee, like oh my God, like my heart dropped for a second.
Yeah, I just about wet my pants. I had a whole bucket of popcorn and sitting in my lap, and I almost crushed it with my thighs because I was like, Bumblebee, no.
I was thinking, no, they can't kill Bumblebee. If they kill Bumblebee, then like, what the fuck's gonna do that? This is already fucked up timeline.
Yeah, Blake is looking over me like, bro, calm down. I'm about to stand
up.
up.
Blake, and I was like, dude.
Yeah, it's like you can't. I knew I had a feeling Bumblebee was going to get the axe because they wanted to make this movie have an impact. And that's exactly how you do it.
Well, I get it. Like I get that we need to like kill like one or two like of us to make it feel real, but not Bumblebee. Like he outside of Prime, he's the mascot for like Transformers.
But here's the thing is that they didn't. I mean, because we're into spoiler territory, right? At the end, he came back.
No, I know that.
Nothing is. That's something that I get. I really get irritated with American movies sometimes because, like, at least in Asian films, you have some deaths and some finality to things. There's actual stakes. There's something actually at stake because in this movie, just like with a lot of the Marvel movies that we watch, I don't feel like there's anything really at stake because I mean, who's really going to die and stay dead? They just come back.
Yeah, this is exactly why I like Doctor Strange too, because it showed you the consequences of facing off with Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you guys for sure. Like, I understand that, like, there has to be some like finality, especially when it comes to like death. But there's like, but I was certainly glad that Bumblebee did not die. But I would understand if like you guys would have been like, oh, they should have kept him dead. Like it should have been final. Like, but no, I'm glad they didn't. But I also gotta say I like the songs that they picked for this movie, the soundtrack. It just felt like 80s 90s vibe, like the Beastie Boys and just like all the songs they had. Like, Don't Call It a Comeback. Right when Bumblebee jumps out of stratosphere and into the battle, that was like, oh hell yes, there's a beat.
They're trying to go toe to toe with James Gunn. That's what they're trying to do.
And they use like real, because I don't think outside of Bumblebee, the other movies didn't really use like a lot of like songs that throughout their movies. But I do remember like the first two had like Green Day in them for some reason. I think it was because they were big at that time. But still, like They didn't really use like a lot of like songs like throughout the movie, like moments or like scenes or anything.
Yeah,
but I
this
like what they
movie.
did with this one.
Yeah, this movie was really heavy on hip hop too. Like that's not common, especially in like I would say like superhero fantasy films. Like hip hop isn't all too common like that. Like you can expect it in Across the Spider-Verse and movies like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did it
But
with Spider-Verse. They did it with. They definitely do it with like some the Guardians for sure. And they even the trailer for Marvels has a bit of a hip hop vibe because of the Beastie Boys song they have in it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with like some hip hop in like movies like this.
yeah,
Well,
it's 2020. Oh,
I was gonna say, I think that the soundtrack had a lot to do with. I mean, they made a big deal about when it started out, pointing out that it was 1994.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because
Like
it gave
that,
that
and
90s
and
vibe.
that was all the music that they were playing was music from that era. So I think that that's why they went with that music. Is that it not only that it in movies, especially something like this, you want something that's going to be kind of thumping in the background. So it hip hop just makes a great soundtrack in general.
It definitely
yeah,
does. And you're
right.
everything was
Action
like
movie.
deliberately chosen, like the song placement, the song choices, and then the setting of the entire movie.
Mhm.
Then you got your main
Brooklyn.
character is biracial.
Mhm.
You got Brooklyn, and then the rest of your cast is kind of like people of color as well, and it's just like
Anthony
Right.
Ramos,
Yeah.
Dominique Fishback, just like everyone.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I guess part of this movie was definitely like an attempt at inclusion, and I don't think they missed the mark on inclusion. I just think like
No,
I
they
was
haven't,
not.
but still, like,
You know what?
like,
They did it, and it wasn't the thing that everyone's talking about after the movie. How fucking woke it was because they
Right.
included everybody in it. How dare they do that? We can't include people in things.
We must.
a small percentage of people would be like, okay, they're definitely like feeling that for sure. But no, you're right. Yeah, like the leads here were definitely like more like biracial for sure. Like Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback, the African American and Latino, and
African American love interest.
that and exactly not even a love interest. Like that's something they did too. They didn't really like make them like love interest with each other. Just like there for the task, there for their families. Yeah, like I like that too. Like you don't always have to like force like two like I've got male and a female, a man and a woman like together.
Yeah, it definitely looked good. It like imagine like being like a child going into the theater and that's like your first Transformers movie ever. It's just like wow, it's like all these characters look just like me, and it's pretty cool. I give them an A for effort for that, and it wasn't too obvious that what they were going for. Like outside of the soundtrack and then picking 94 Brooklyn, this movie was still at the end of the day a Transformers movie.
Oh, for sure, absolutely, it was a Transformers movie, but it also like and spanned across Earth, like going through like from Brooklyn to Peru, and just taking in the location, the beauty of the planet, and I also like that they showed a different side to Optimus Prime because the Optimus Prime we all like know and love. Like he's like, we must protect the humans if we must like aid them and like have them help us if they're willing to. But here he's like, you brought a human here? You freaking kidding me? He's like, he doesn't trust anyone on this planet. He doesn't like anyone on this planet. Like he's young. Like the wars affected him. Like he doesn't want to be here. Like he doesn't want to help outside of his own people. And like, damn, okay.
Yeah, man, he was kind of a douchey leader, but at the same time, you get him.
Protectorate for sure. Protective for sure. Definitely cold, but just not what I was expecting. But I liked it. I mean, he eventually he grows, and also it helps that he learns a little bit from Optimus Primal, who's been on the planet for a long time, longer than Optimus, and
dealing with humans longer too. Yeah,
and even though us humans are not perfect, trust me, we are nowhere near perfect. But he sees that Primal sees that humans can be better, that they can be and do better. and he's just like offering Optimus the chance to see that.
Can you imagine
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can you imagine just like being complimented by Optimus Prime himself? Like he just said, "Oh, you're a warrior like me."
Oh man,
you talking to me?
just having Optimus Prime talk to me would be like, "You looking at me? Are you actually noticing me?" And then I faint.
Oh, Jesus,
Lord!
What were you about to say, Kenpachi?
Oh, I was going to say that they mentioned something about Optimus and his attitude in the movie. That the fact that he's lost so much, he's not the same person, same Transformer that he was a long time ago. He's not the person he's not the hero that they talk about in the legends that Optimus Primal has heard about. And so you see maybe he might get some of that back as the movie progresses on, but his own personal losses have caused him to care about the battle, the fight, more than
the casualties, I guess.
The casualties, the people, the things that you're losing in the war, not just casualties as in people, but like what are you sacrificing? What other worlds? What other civilizations? None of that matter to save your own?
And what are you really fighting for? Like,
right,
really.
And that's not what they're about.
Right, but he gets there eventually, and like I said, he's the war on Cybertron. It affects him, it changes him, and being on Earth affects him for sure. But it also helps him like see a different perspective, like look through a different lens, and it definitely helps him grow and become the leader who he's meant to be.
Absolutely, because I'm used to him being kind of cold from the TV show as well. Because when he was Optimus Prime, the gorilla, like he was cold then too. Like Cheetor got on his nerves, and the other Transformers occasionally got on his nerves, but definitely Cheetor, which was like my favorite beast out of all of them. And I don't remember Air Razor being in the TV show, but this version of her in the movie was really cool and just kind of like godlike almost. Like I love the portrayal of this character. And you said, was Michelle Yeoh the one that played the voice of Air Razor?
Yeah, she was the bird. She was Air Razor.
Yeah, that's man. They cast my girl.
I know they did a great job with the casting, even though we didn't really get to like explore or meet, like go into depth with too much more like the other Max ones. But hopefully, maybe if they do another, we can. So,
yeah, honestly, I'm ready for a second one because I've already forgiven the first one for the mistakes that it made. I'm expecting the second time around. I want to see a little bit more on the Autobots.
Definitely.
Just diving a little bit deeper into the Autobots, and then that post-credit scene just opened a whole new can of worms.
I know. But before we get into post-credit scene, let's just take a moment and because Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, he's been doing this for nearly 40, 50 years, I think, because he first started in 1984. That's like nearly 40 years.
I was like, dude, that voice is iconic as it gets.
It really is. I mean, they've had other people voice Optimus Prime, but it's like Kevin Conroy, like voicing Batman. He is Optimus Prime, no matter what. And
absolutely.
Peter, he's 81. That man is 81 years old.
Man, dang it, man! This time, I won't jinx him, but you know he's gonna bite the dust in the
we don't know that. We've already lost enough of this year. We don't need to lose anymore. Thank you very much. He's also from Quebec. Canadians
are the nicest human beings on the planet.
I mean, this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
But yes, if anyone else who has not watched this movie, leave now because the ending of this movie just opens a whole can of worms.
Before we go, I want to throw one more thing out there because since they had a combiner in the movie, and we had the little combiner suit guy, but we've never really had like the full combiners like we had in the show. Like
the
we
mini
had
ones.
the Constructicons and the one of the other ones, but it didn't make like the big robots. Like we didn't have. I want to see like the aerial bots and the the Stunticons and the Combaticons and all of them. I want to see them form their giant forms like Devastator and oh gosh, there's so many of them and I don't remember all of their names.
Right.
But,
yeah. They did a version of it with Revenge of the Fallen with their version of Constructicons, but I know what you mean. Not.
Yeah.
That makes me want
want more of them. I want to have two of the combiners fighting.
Right.
That's the one was cool, but we need to have one of the Autobot ones as well.
I can agree.
Let me see.
Because we even have like, I remember from one of the old from the shows in the 2000s, like Jetfire and another bot. I can't remember their name, but they formed together to into one too. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. That's the aerial bots. I got them for Christmas one year when I was a kid.
It makes me want to go back and watch Transformers. Is the one old show. Yeah, that'd be my top priorities if I had to rewatch any series.
Man. It definitely is one. There's a lot of them that I like, but I love like the G1 Transformers. And Willie, I saw you mention something up there, bro. They did have Devastator in the second movie, and that's what we mentioned that. But I want to see him have like him be like the giant robot, and have another one like the aerial bots for the Autobots, and have each of them have like a giant robot.
No, I know. No, we definitely know what you mean. And even though I grew up like as definitely like a toddler, as a kid watching Transformers, the one series that sticks out to mind for me specifically is Transformers animated on Cartoon Network from like 2000. You guys remember that one?
That's when I first got introduced to like the vehicle versions of the Autobots.
Right. Yeah. I definitely remember like the shows and the toys because I had toys of them growing up, but I think this is what really like hyped me up more so like getting older because the show was funny, it was cool, the style was different, but it was really, really good. And apparently they were considering doing a 4th season, but it just never happened.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I never knew what season they left off on. But
they ended on the 3rd season. They were originally going to do a 4th season, but it just didn't happen for some reason. I was like, no, come on.
Yeah, I started getting detached when they did like the Cybertron TV show. And I just started like I'll wait for the live action to come out, and then the live actions weren't awful, like the Shia LaBeouf movies, and then you got the Mark Wahlberg and then the Bumblebee spin-offs. They were all pretty good. I never missed them when they premiered in theaters, but I missed the show though. The show was all that in a bag of chips.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, now post-credit scene.
Yeah,
post-credit scene. The ending of the scene. Like, what the hell? I mean,
I guess it was just kind of ending, wasn't it?
Wow, just like
Hasbro
cinematic universe at this point. Oh my gosh, the fact that they are brave enough and ballsy enough to attempt an actual Transformers G.I. Joe movie. Like, what the hell?
Is he taking the suit to G.I. Joe? Because he had that suit at the end of it.
I know. So that could work. But and we know, like, if anyone's like a fan of Transformers or G.I. Joe, like, and they've like looked up rumors and everything on, because we know that Bonaventura are like the producers for Transformers and G.I. Joe, even directors, like, we want to make a movie with these characters with both franchises. We want to make this happen. They've talked about it for years, but we've never actually thought that they would actually try it.
It's like one of the most ambitious crossovers getting ready to come up in movies, man.
And we've had like big scale crossover movies like Endgame and Justice League and just so, and this is like up there with like definitely like ambitious.
Like Transformers 2, Go Joe, like something crazy
right,
like
right.
that. Like, it's going to be interesting because I feel like Cobra Commander is going to get his hands on a Decepticon or some kind of combiner, make a suit for himself.
Oh,
it's
God.
just like, oh, not Cobra Commander. He's going to come through bussing.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, and there's only been like 3 G.I. Joe movies, Rise of Cobra, Retaliation, and the Snake Eyes origin story.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see those?
I saw all 3.
Yeah, every one of them.
I might be the only weirdo that enjoyed all 3 as well.
I mean, I liked them all. I think, oh God, it's always, I think my favorite for some reason is Retaliation. It feels more battle, like grounded, a little bit more action, battleground. And also, I don't know why, but I feel like I know you're not a fan of Dwayne Johnson, but I feel like Dwayne Johnson makes a better G.I. Joe than Channing Tatum. I'm sorry.
Man, put some respect on Joe's name.
I mean, I love Channing Tatum, I do, but like, I don't know. Dwayne Johnson just feels more like a G.I. Joe, more like a soldier than Channing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he probably got Channing beat, but I didn't like either of them. I tolerated Channing more than I tolerated Dwayne. But it's just like, man, I just came
sense knowing you.
I came strictly for Snake Eyes.
I love Dwayne Johnson, so you know.
As soon as I saw Snake Eyes in the trailer, I knew I had to get my ass in that theater.
So, granted, Snake Eyes is probably like one of the most recognized and favorite characters from G.I. Joe, which is why they gave him his own movie.
I was not a fan of that movie so much, but I
liked it as its own thing. I thought it worked. It wasn't the best. It could have been better, but I still liked it. And even though Snake Eyes is supposed to be like silent, like I do think it makes sense that it's mostly him getting to the suit, getting to the point where he wears the suit and doesn't speak.
Yeah, this Snake Eyes. I'd be bold enough to say this: between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, they carry every movie they're in.
True, because Ray Park is Snake Eyes in like both movies. Who was Toad in X-Men, and he's done so many stunts, so many action movies, and he's a great Snake Eyes. And I also really like, I can't remember the guy's name, but the guy who plays Storm Shadow in both the first 2. He was great. I'm so glad they brought him back for the second one.
He was Storm Shadow in the Snake Eyes origin, wasn't he?
No, they had a younger guy play him.
I'm sitting here looking at the Snake Eyes movie, and Tommy is Storm Shadow, right? Yeah, that's played by Andrew Koji.
Oh, that's right. Andrew Koji played him in Snake Eyes, and
the guy from Warrior.
And Lee Boon-hoon, if I'm saying that right, he plays Storm Shadow from the first 2, and he's just as and he's great too.
They were so serious in that Snake Eyes origin movie, and then that ending where they just like fighting out in the open or something like that. Like I have to rewatch it one more time, but it got a little bit corny. But other than that.
They're G.I. Joe movies. They're going to be fun. They're Hasbro.
Right.
That's one of my top 5 rivalries of all time: Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. So
I do like that. I do like that they emphasize the brotherhood and the rivalry in Snake Eyes, because they have to. Like, that's the person he loves and like as well as hates most in the world.
Yep. Yeah, you imagine them 2 getting a combiner. Like, oh God, like.
Well, because they've only been made 3 movies, and the last one, Snake Eyes, was in 2021. Like, still, like when COVID was still pretty high up. So, and we don't know if we don't know if they're trying to make more outside of Transformers, let alone with Transformers.
Well, you remember the last the last G.I. Joe movie, they had those suits they wore. Those were almost like combiners, anyways. I mean,
You
Yeah,
mean from the
a
first?
step down from combiners, obviously, but
You mean from the first movie, the one they had like Channing and Marlon Wayans wear like throughout Paris?
yeah, that's the one. That one.
Oh Lord,
man,
do not give Marlon Wayans that. He'll just run amok.
Man, casting Marlon Wayans that have been one of the boldest choices of all time, and it didn't bother me for some reason when I watched.
Neither
this.
did I. I thought I liked him as Ripcord. I liked him as Rip. I didn't really know him too well outside of just like maybe a few movies, but still, I didn't think of him as like a funny guy, like a comedy guy. I just thought of him as a soldier with a humor, trying to keep his buddy Duke grounded.
Yeah, and I'm just watching. I watch Wayans everything. I am like the biggest Wayans family fan, and just seeing him like all of a sudden and slapped in GI Joe, like, oh shit, go sideways.
Yep.
He's either going to be
bust out some homie don't play that.
Yeah, between Snake Eyes and Heavy Duty, those were like two of my favorites of the Gojo team.
For sure. And also from Retaliation, you guys remember who else was in that movie?
Countess? No, Baroness.
No, that's the first. No, I'm not talking about actors. Like in the second one. You remember who else was in it?
I don't remember.
Adrian Palicki, Mockingbird from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Elodie Young, who played Elektra from Daredevil.
Is the chick that played Daredevil? She was Baroness, wasn't she? Or no, that was somebody completely different.
No, that was completely different. Baroness was in the first movie. Elodie Young, she was Jinx in the second movie. And Adrian, she played Lady J, who would go on to play Mockingbird in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I felt madly in love with Baroness. She was always one of the coolest villains, but in the movie the casting was girl.
I
yes,
mean,
Lord.
She was fine as hell for sure. But no, I think I like Retaliation a bit more because I recognize a lot more people, not just Wayne, but Adrian and Elodie, who I would go on to see in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Elektra and Daredevil, as well as now the late and great Ray Stevenson.
Rest in peace.
He was Firefly, part of the Cobra Command.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Sienna Miller is the Baroness.
The Baroness from the first one, and Firefly. Ray Stevenson played Firefly in the second one. He helped make the breakout happen in the second movie. He was like, I like to make things go boom.
Yeah, that iconic scene, that dude.
What's weird is I haven't seen that movie in years, but for some reason I remember that line specifically. I don't know why.
Yeah, expecting all those fools to just pop up in a crossover movie is just like, sheesh.
I know, but if they try to do it and hopefully it works, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but hopefully. Hey, how we doing, Danny?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nerd King himself has arrived. It is Danny Stewart of Comically Inclined. He is currently on vacay out in Branson, so I think his audio is out. Wait, is that him or that's another camera?
I mean, I can see him, but I don't hear nothing.
Oh, he dropped out for a second. Yeah, as far as like overall score for Transformers Rise of the Beast, what would you guys give it?
8.5, at least like an A-.
Nice. What about you, Kenpachi?
I'd say 7.5 or an 8. As far as overall, out of Transformers movies, it'd probably be a 9.
Yeah.
If you took just the Transformers movies, but
that's true. I would give it a B plus. Yeah, 8.5 I do for me on that as well. Most of my complaints were just about the script itself and like how the characters talk to each other. It was just like, yeah, you should probably let somebody who's really knowledgeable of how dialogue is to write these scripts. But
I mean,
I got by.
I didn't have too much of a problem with the writing, to be honest. But I could again whenever I watch it. So who knows?
Yeah, the way the characters talked to each other was a little bit strange, but it wasn't so bad that it just yanked the plot out the water. So it was. So I definitely will keep it a B plus. They did a great job otherwise with introducing Scourge and giving us Mirage and all that. It was pretty cool. Let me see if we can. Any luck?
Hope Danny find his voice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
We
the
can see
audio.
your mouth moving, but nothing hearing.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
I can't hear your voice.
Okay, Herbert.
I'm just trying to hear your voice.
Oh, God.
Let me see. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming out anyway, the Nerd King. You're more than welcome to hop in the comment section and act a fool with us.
Hopefully, when he comes by next time, technical difficulties will not be an issue. But my friend D, what's up next?
The next topic is Secret Invasion, Episode 1. So we're already diving right into Samuel L. Jackson's Call to Fame. Now, his biggest blockbuster TV series thus far. So,
has he ever been in a TV series before?
He probably has, or at least appearances.
Well, I guess Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's there you go. Yeah, he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
2 episodes.
But I don't think he's ever been a technically like a TV star per se.
No, and yeah, he'd probably be in mostly just like recurring or special guests because he was only in like the second episode and the finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Yay!
There we
Audio
go.
works.
How we doing, man?
Secret Invasion, Episode 1.
Oh, it was good.
Oh Lord!
Good.
About to say,
I guess I missed Rise of the Beast, huh?
Just the tail end. But if you want to like give us your 2 cents, like you're more than happy to, Danny.
Oh, well, hell yeah. Okay. Rise of the Beast was incredible. I don't give a shit about the storyline with the humans. I love Anthony Ramos, but he could have been left out entirely. Just seeing Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal on screen together, getting to see Cheetor in his cheetah form.
Yes.
I was a little unhappy that Cheetor and Rhinox, once they went into their robot forms, were kind of like blurry. Like you couldn't get a good look at them, which was kind of the way I felt that whole thing. And then in the fight, whenever the one Predacon was like, or not Predacon, what were they? Terracons? When the Terracon was like,
Terracon, yeah.
Who's gonna give me a real fight? I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be Rhinox. And then Optimus Prime was just Primal was like, me, and I was like, oh, well, I guess that works too. Like you could be elsewhere doing important things and let Rhinox have a moment in the sunlight, but that's okay.
Right.
I kind of spoke on that too because we only really got to like hear or see a lot of more Air Razor and Primal. But if they do another one like for the Maximals, hopefully we'll get to see Rhinox and Cheetor and more Maximals like shine.
Has anybody seen any reason why they left Rat Trap out? Is it because Bumblebee was already in the movie, or
I don't know.
I bet it was. I really bet it was. The fact that they had to kill him, that sent me a message too. I'm like, dang, you gonna put Bumblebee in the movie and kill him?
Yeah.
Okay, message
Rat Trap
received.
was kind of the Bumblebee of the Beast Wars, so I guess they were replacing Bee with Mirage, and they didn't see a reason to have a third Bee, I guess.
Right. It's like, come on, you grab Pete Davidson of all people to take this man's spot. And
hey, it worked at least. I mean,
yeah,
it was unexpected, but it worked.
Yeah,
he felt like a true bro. Like I could talk to him myself. Like, oh, Pete nailed that. I feel like he improv that role and it actually fit. It actually fit for how he treated the humans.
It definitely did.
I actually didn't catch that it was Pete Davidson. Like, even his voice wasn't like a giveaway. At least to me.
Yeah, I kind of caught like little bits of it, but yeah.
Well, I hear a lot like daily.
I would give it like a for the Transformers movies that I've seen, and I think like the last one or two of the Michael Bay ones I didn't watch. But I would say for the ones that I've seen, this is probably like a solid 6.5 for me.
Yeah. I gave it a B plus, but if the more I watch it, I could probably knock more down if I kept watching it and like noticed things that I missed the last time for sure.
I probably noticed things too, but I probably would still give it an 8.5 myself.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's like it's one of my favorites now. Like up there with.
Have you ever seen the animated movie from the 80s?
I am not.
It's been forever. Honestly, it's been forever. I know you love the animated movie, and it's like the pinnacle of everything.
It's the pinnacle of Transformers films for sure.
It's probably true.
And you said it's animated?
Yeah, it's an animated movie. It's been forever since I've seen it, but yeah, it was an animated movie from '86, and it was amazing from everything I've heard.
I will watch it now.
I own the 20th anniversary edition. It's fun, and the cool thing about the 20th anniversary edition is the 3 biggest fans of Transformers, not even had anything to do with the movie at all, got to do a commentary track where they talked about what they knew about the film, and it was so much more in depth than the commentary track from the actual director and writers for the film. They have like it's an hour and a half of just pure knowledge about Transformers, and it's incredible.
That is awesome.
That's crazy.
I've got to see that now for sure.
Yeah, we should just like do a hangout night and like watch it.
Yes,
absolutely. I got exposed to Transformers when the Beast Wars TV show was around, and then I met the vehicle versions of the Autobots like in the 2000s.
Yeah, the cool thing about the kind of crazy thing about the animated film is they did the animated film in between season 1 and season 2 because Transformers was so popular, but because they're a toy company and they wanted to sell more toys and they didn't want to keep the 40-year spoiler alert, they didn't want to keep the same toys around. They needed to put the new line out. They like unceremoniously kill all of the first season Transformers, including Optimus Prime, and then they didn't realize that it was going to have the effect that it did on kids. And kids lost their shit. Like, kids lost their ever-loving minds. There were kids refusing to eat, threatening to kill themselves, all over the death of Optimus Prime.
Jesus.
And so the filmmakers, when they went to do season 2 and 3 of Transformers, that in order to make it up to the kids, they brought Optimus Prime back as a zombie and then killed him again.
Jesus Christ. That's making it up?
Right?
That is ruthless. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That is next level savagery.
Oh my gosh.
Emperor Will is in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. He could not make it tonight.
What up, Will? It wasn't going to be. It's an 8.5. Well, it's everyone's opinion. It's good. It's good. Your brother still hasn't seen it, right?
Yeah, Will still hasn't seen it. I was hoping he'd make it today, but a whole lot of crazy stuff been going on this weekend.
He can't judge or question me until he's seen it. Until then, I'm not taking his word by anything.
Yeah, I think Will actually liked the movie. The movie's pretty cool, and they got a little bit of Biggie Smalls and some 90s hip hop in there. I appreciated that. I probably won't go any higher than a B plus though. I can't.
A minus for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what a 6.5 would be. Was that like a C?
Yeah, probably like a C plus.
That's like a
C plus.
65% is like a D pushing it up. You know,
that's gotta be at least a D plus.
Maybe I'm being a little brutal. Maybe a 7.5 for me.
I'd say I said 7.58.
He said that.
I said out of Transformers movies, it's a 9. You know, like in comparison to only Transformers movies, it's a 9. Second only to the Bumblebee movie. But
Bumblebee was pretty cool. Like I was a Shia LaBeouf era fan, so I liked those live action films.
I'm just a
Transformers.
Transformers.
I would love those movies if they left all the humans out and just had the robots smashing into each other and blowing shit up.
I can agree fully with that for sure.
This movie didn't need humans at all.
Right?
I think that was the great change, is that even though it had humans in the story, they weren't the main characters.
Right. It wasn't as much. They small live action cast, and they weren't a huge part of the story. They weren't the main part of the story. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah. See, Will said like the time they brought back Gwen in Avengers, then killed her off again.
Oh,
yeah.
Gwen Stacy. Oh Christ.
Jesus, man.
I know. Spider-Man. He can't keep track of his movies. Oh Lord.
Man, he is going through it right now. Y'all got to pray for him, man. His movies is all.
I'm sorry, Will. But moving on. He's on medication. Okay. So everyone here has seen the first episode for Secret Invasion, right?
Oh yeah.
That AI. Oh my God.
And if anyone who's watching again has not seen this episode, you can leave right now because, man, just
stay and get your spoilers spoiled.
Yeah, just get
so I
spoiled.
rewatched it again today, and the first time I watched it, I have a bad habit of skipping through the openings of all the TV shows, movies. If it's not to do with the actual episode, I skip through that shit. So because everyone talked about how horrible this AI beginning was, I actually sat through it today, and I just got to say that I think you guys are exactly right. What the hell were they thinking?
Like I went in there completely unbiased and just like, come on, I'm going to give you a chance. And then I just saw something with like the human figures and people's, and it's just like, what the fuck is this?
Some abstract Martian Manhunter bullshit.
Horribly lazy.
I mean AI. I mean, I didn't really care for either way. I mean, it was different, but it's its own style. But and I was also like half asleep too when I first watched it too, so I didn't really like notice too much of it.
The first thing that came to my mind was like the Take On Me music video. It's just like, oh, why is this necessary for a Marvel TV show?
Yeah, well, nothing's gonna top Daredevil's Netflix opening. So
100%.
Maybe they're just like, you know what, peak has already happened. Fuck it, we'll just throw some shit on here and get our.
Right.
Yeah. Punisher got this close too.
Punisher's good too.
Yeah.
Punisher, Luke Cage, Daredevil, those are all really good openings.
Yeah. I would say Jessica Jones is low profile, and I like that. It was pretty cool as well. But Daredevil, the music and everything.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
But man, they open it up with this like us showing us that Everett Ross is not Everett Ross.
Yeah, I was like, I had a feeling like he had to be one of them because he's not going to get killed off this soon.
I thought it was going to be him or the other guy that died. I mean, I didn't know until like, damn.
Yeah, the one death. Yeah, the one death I did not expect was Maria Hill. Like, what?
Oh God!
What? I hope y'all were prepared for that because she just got one-shotted.
Oh my God!
We know
that was brutal.
We know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that Fury has the ability to resurrect somebody, though.
I don't think they're going to use Project Tahiti on this. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Well, yes, but still, like, we don't like. I don't think he would want to put through what he did with Coulson again. I mean, the man almost went mad.
They can do LMDs though that are programmed with the memories of the people that they are replacing. So they may not be exact facsimiles of them, but they can imitate them in a lot of situations.
Here's the thing. Fury straight up died in Age of Ultron. Or no, Winter Soldier. Fury straight up died in Winter Soldier. Dead at doornail.
When Loki stabbed him.
Yes, and then
we saw him shot umpteenth times. Then he gets shot again. Definitely dead. They revived him.
Right.
Just saying, Maria Hill bleeding out on the ground at the end of the episode doesn't mean she's dead.
I hope not. I hope not. I mean, from what
like,
I've heard, this is the end for Maria Hill, but I'm holding out hope because Danny, you could be right. For all we know, she could still be alive, barely. But and she's been doing this. It's been 11 years for her, like in Marvel, because she was in the Avengers, and she was doing this for a long time.
Well,
yeah, like,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, there's some of the.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. Some of the casting. Some of the casting kind of confirms. Well, I'll ask you guys. Do you think that the cast kind of confirmed that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was canon now in the MCU?
I've always considered S.H.I.E.L.D. like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon unless something or someone proved me like utterly wrong. But until then, I'm just going to be ignorantly bliss and just accept it as canon.
So this is why I bring up Tahiti, because I feel like they are going to make, if not all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're going to make some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon. They're going to give it the expanded universe treatment. And I am low-key wondering if we're going to get a resurrection of Maria Hill via Coulson, and it's going to be Fury, Coulson, Hill, and Everett Ross, plus some Skrulls that round out this cast.
I mean, maybe if they bring in LMD Coulson, I wouldn't be mad about it. But if they bring in someone from S.H.I.E.L.D., the one person I want them to, and I know she said that, you already know, Chloe Bennett. I want her back as Daisy Johnson, even though she said she has nothing to do with this. Andrew, like, we know people lie.
We've seen lies a couple times before. Yeah. Andrew Garfield lied to us and said, "Yeah, I'm not going to be in that Spider-Man No Way Home movie."
Who's Tom Holland? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I want.
I mean, the thing to remember though is that Coulson, by the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was an LMD. They can make LMDs that can be as lifelike as people, so they can put an LMD in there and just have the actor be an LMD of that person, and it never have to even resurrect the person. It's just that they're an android that is programmed to be a lifelike replica. LMD is life model decoy.
And they've mentioned LMDs in something, have they not?
Yes,
maybe for the Marvel series,
in Avengers.
Well,
in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they talked about them, and I'm pretty sure.
And then they finally brought it in.
Avengers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was briefly mentioned in Avengers, maybe a few other movies. I'm not sure, but I mean, they could always do that.
It was when Hawkeye almost died.
Oh, yes, you're right. Oh my God, you're absolutely right. Oh, I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, we'll wait and see what happens, and also with the opening and like us seeing the Everett Ross Skrull, that kind of raises the question: how long has this Skrull been Everett Ross? For all we know, the Ross that we've known since Civil War, this guy could have been him all that time.
Yeah.
What difference does that make, honestly? Because the Skrull would have taken his thoughts no matter what, and since then would have been making the moves that the Skrulls wanted him to make. So it's sort of irrelevant, because what does it matter? The moves that were made back then are made. We may find out that, they made some moves back then, but I mean, at this point, all that's good. We know that some of these things that have happened are Skrull related. So
I have a feeling I know, like,
terrorist attacks that have been going on around the country. So, like, are they talking about what's the one in Captain America when the bomb goes off and kills T'Chaka?
That was at like the
Accords.
Yeah.
Was that a terrorist attack set up by the Skrulls?
I don't think we're gonna get it that far back. I don't think they're gonna claim that.
Yeah, I think it goes as far back as Wakanda Forever. Like, that could be like Skrull Everett, like stirring up beef between the United States and Wakanda right there on the spot. And the whole plot is to stop them from making United States and Russia go to war. So it's just like we're going to make United States fight whoever, so that the world could end and our people can take what's ever left behind. and so stirring up I can't Talokan and Wakanda, and getting them aimed at the United States could probably help start that world war that they want.
Right. Yeah. Because we don't really, because the scrolls, because basically they're showing us that Gravik's like little sect of like scrolls. They're sick and tired of like the humans like making them a promise and not really living up to it. So they just want to take Earth or cause some chaos. We're not really completely sure, and yeah, so we don't know if they're going to cause a war or just.
They said in the episode the reason that so many of the Skrulls live in Russia is because radioactivity doesn't affect. Yeah, radiation doesn't affect Skrulls. So I believe their plan is to get to trigger World War III and get the armies to wipe the majority of the humans off the face of the Earth and then just take over the planet.
Oh God!
If the planet's irradiated, they're fine.
Right. Well, if they just get everyone to fire all their nukes, and everyone nukes each other, they're all dead. The only people that are alive are the Skrulls. There's no takeover. There's no conquering the planet because there's nobody else that are left alive.
Yeah, most of their frustration. Yeah, most of their frustration is also a part of not being able to find a home for a long time. So they're just like, we kind of are home, so let's just establish it here.
Right, because
Carol
Danvers and Fury promised them that they would help them find a new home somewhere out in the galaxy, but they haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind, if they ever do trigger a World War III scenario and they bomb, they nuke countries, they will most likely nuke coastal countries, like people in Missouri or the center of Russia or the center of Europe or Texas, the center of Mexico. Like, there's going to be survivors. There's still going to be humans. They're not going to wipe us all out. It's not going to turn into an irradiated wasteland across the entire world. As we've learned from, Chernobyl and the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there's a limit on how far this radiation goes. So when the Skrulls do this, I don't believe their plan is to wipe humans out entirely. I believe their plan is to take control of the planet and then live alongside humans, but as the leading faction. That being said, we know that's not going to happen. In this story, the question is, who are all the sleeper agents, and how long have they been there? And I think that with Everett Ross, that was probably a more recent.
Yeah,
I would think so too, but still.
And the thing I'm curious about is, like, we know we had a Skrull Maria Hill and a Skrull Fury,
who were Talos and Soren.
Yeah, but like Rhodey is not wearing robotic leggings anymore, and he's like as far up the chain as you can get without being the president. He's the handler for the president. Is he a Skrull? I think that's a big question.
I would say, if not Rhodey, at least the president might be a Skrull as well, because even though this guy is the president of the show, we're supposed to be getting Harrison Ford, who's going to be playing Thunderbolt Ross. He's supposed to be the president in the next Captain America and Thunderbolt.
That's valid.
Yeah, Blake Hickman is in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. That is the digital media director over at Comically Inclined.
Balaki. He's not expecting this guy to live outside of this series.
Yeah. And also Billy Rhodes is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
BE.
And he's bringing the Fallout with him.
Oh, good.
Someone has to.
We just need Landon now. We'll be complete with Landon.
On Saturday Night Nerds?
Oh, Lord.
I guess it's Billy now.
you guys have Landon, we have Billy.
Yeah, I get that. That's a fair divide. But we're all basically comically inclined now, so
more or less.
Yeah.
And here's a good question: when do you guys think that Gaia planned that, or like the bombing, like she set them up, or do you think Gravik kind of I don't know, like misled all of them.
I think he kind of fooled Guy a little bit. Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
I don't think so. I'm not gonna lie. Gaia is totally drinking his Kool-Aid.
I don't.
Whatever kind of Kool-Aid Gravik is serving, she's like, "Can I have another cup, please?"
I don't think
Like
so.
you saw him sitting there tossing all them sugars in that cup. She was like, "I want that cup."
The worst kind of Kool-Aid. No sugar.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Sugar-free Kool-Aid.
I mean, she definitely like sees and like believes in like what he's doing, but not completely. Especially if like what Taylor said is true. Is like if Gravik actually killed her mom, then she's definitely gonna be like, "What did you do?"
Yeah, I think that she's made a turn for the better. I think she's gonna end up being an ally for the humans throughout the series. And but you know, that's the thing. Like, is that gonna be the case, or is she gonna be the Skrull Empress, basically?
That is true. Because we don't know if it's gonna be her. Or they're gonna bring in someone else to be the Skrull Empress. We don't know. Because
How close would you say in accuracy is this to like a source material, like a comic book version of Secret Invasion? Or
it's pretty far. It's pretty far removed from being accurate for the original.
Right. Yeah, because Secret Invasion was like this whole, this like interwoven thing throughout every comic, through every character. The Invisible Woman was a Skrull of Captain America. There were multiple characters who were
Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman. Yeah, she was the Empress. She was Ferengi.
Yeah.
Because even though Secret Invasion is the show is Marvel product and they can include some characters, they can't do everyone. If they were to do a full scale Secret Invasion, they would have to pull multiple actors, multiple characters from multiple movies. It would have to be full on scale.
Yeah, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm. They would the Fantastic Four. They would have to bring in characters they haven't brought in yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be full on adaptation, but it's going to be the best that they can do with what they have right now.
That got me started on the rabbit hole now, because it's just like, what at the end of this season we see a Skrull Reed Richards, and it's just like.
And I think that from the way they ran this one, because I don't know, nobody's mentioned it so far, but like everything about it was so dramatic. The music was dramatic. The tone of every scene was so dramatic. This whole spy thriller thing going on, that is, again, not at all what Secret Invasion was. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of secrets going on. Obviously, it's in the name, but it was very much not like the human side of things battling them. It was the superheroes fighting them, and it was not a spy thriller kind of scenario at all. It was city, big, everybody was, lots of people were finding out about it all at once. But again, they were looking for the, who were the sleeper agents, but it still didn't have this super serious, like dramatic overtone that the show has. It was good, but it definitely, I felt like, I hope they toned that down just a touch, because it was a bit much for the first episode.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I do like that they're making it out to be like a spy thriller, because they have to kind of like figure out like secretly, like covertly, what the Skrulls are doing, who is a Skrull, and just like to go forward. And to be fair, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, that was very much a spy thriller, and it's still considered one of the best Captain America, probably the best Captain America movie, and one of the better Marvel movies from Phase 2 and just in general.
It is my favorite Captain America movie, that's for sure.
Mine too, for sure.
I the spy thriller aspect of it. I actually that was kind of fun for me. I enjoyed the tension of it. Deontay, is Will your big brother or your little brother?
Younger brother.
So it's the
so he's my Ben.
Yeah, he jumped. Yeah. They jump in the chat, talk shit, and leave, right?
Yeah.
It's weird to find out that they're both older than me, like only by a few years for some reason.
Yeah, I'm like, Ben and Will definitely got to team up so they can get on me and Danny's nerves together.
Oh man, oh Lord!
All of y'all are little pups compared to me.
I mean, that is true. That is true.
Timbachi, aren't we like the same age?
I'm not sure, but I think that you could probably add one of these other guys' age years and you'll be close to mine. But
I mean, I think
I'm 50, so
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
he got him
41.
by. Oh,
Oh,
he
you're
got you by
close.
9 years.
only
29
by 9 years, but we're
Yeah.
close.
I'm
Closer than
29.
anyone else in the circle.
Yeah,
nowhere near yours. But
Yeah.
oh man,
I would say Will is at this point. He is definitely a DC fan, probably diehard at this point because he hates
Okay.
the MCU right now. he
Wow.
has since Phase 4. So
oh god.
Damn. You know, all I can say to that is like, sometimes comic runs aren't great.
Right.
And, there's still good stuff in there. You know, you may not be a fan of the New 52 when you're talking about comics, but there was some good shit in there still.
Yeah.
Right.
You may not be a fan of the Nightfall storyline. You may not be a fan of let's see, what was the all new, all different Marvel. But there was some good stuff came out of all that stuff, and the same with Phase 4 and going into Phase 5. Everything's not going to be perfect, but there's some good shit.
There's definitely there's definitely good stuff in like Phase 4 and 5, and it's only the first episode. You can't really like judge like Secret Invasion thus far. Only a little bit. You can't judge it for a whole until everything's released, until we know everything about it.
Yeah, my
I
opinion.
said
the
I
MCU
liked it.
still
The only
hasn't
thing I
missed that.
said was
No, I
it
don't
was a
mean
little
you.
bit
I just
overdramatic.
mean people in general. I'm not attacking you, Kenpachi.
Hey guys,
Oh.
I'm gonna get back to my family vacation.
Oh,
It was
you
a
good,
pleasure
man.
being here.
Thank
I'll
you
talk
for
to you
coming
later, all
out.
right?
Have a good one,
Thanks,
man.
Danny.
Later,
Catch
guys.
you later, man.
Catch you later. Uh-oh. This is
The
phone
leave
can
button
set him
won't work.
free.
There we go.
And then it
He's
works.
gonna make him
And then
stay
it-
forever.
Technical difficulties. We apologize. Oh Lord, but man, what do
y'all
you-
have? Y'all have like an overall score for this episode 1?
the first episode, I would say 7.5. I'd say I give it a good solid 7.5.
Yeah. What
Because
about
it
you,
was-
Kenpachi?
I'd say 7.5. I'm
It
right
was
there
a-
with him.
It was a good starting ground, and like the running up, like just running the ground, like getting it started, and as well as the twist, like at the end, we as much as we hate it, it works. It's good. As much as we hate to lose Maria Hill, it services the story. It services.
Man, I'm hoping we have some finality to some of these things. I want, not that I want people to die, but I want there to be consequences for not doing.
Being on point.
If everybody can always come back, where is the drama in the story? Where is the reality, the pain, the
grief,
the character development? There's without loss, there's no development.
Well, I'll jump off on that by agreeing with you by saying that if Maria Hill's death stakes, and I'm pretty sure it actually is, just a teardrop for everyone. I think that's kind of what's gonna like get Fury like more ready, because she even told him that you weren't ready for this fight, Fury, like at all. So just him realizing that he was a step behind, and that kind of led to her dying because of me. I need to get my shit together. I need to get up in gear. I need to get back to being Nicholas J. Fury.
Yeah, that is a one mean son of a gun. Maria herself found out the hard way that she wasn't prepared for this
Toby
battle.
Smolder, she's a great actress. I think I read somewhere that she found more nuance and just like she enjoyed like diving deeper into Maria while doing Secret Invasion. Yeah. Granted, it was only one episode, but still. But and also, I kind of want to throw out a wild theory. Does anyone think that Gravik and Fury might have a relationship, like somehow? Because
father son, probably.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Because he asked about Gravik like specifically, and just like I don't know, Gravik just seems to like have like an ire for Fury for some reason. And let's be honest, Kingsley Ben Adir kind of looks a little bit similar to Samuel Jackson. Am I wrong?
I mean, he did have a little fling with the Russian lady that fake kidnapped him. So that could be both of their kids, or she was Skrull the whole time.
Russian? Oh my god, she was British. What you talking about?
I don't know who she is at all.
I think this is great, but I'm just gonna say that I don't subscribe to this theory in the least.
I mean, it's a theory. I'm not saying I'm not committing myself to it. But it's a thought. It's definitely something that's crossed my mind, and it could very well be true. But if not, then hey, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
You know the transformation that Fury has that I want to see this season is I want to see him transform into like an old white dude with like white sideburns and
no.
And then he come back to being the Sam Jackson Fury by the end of it. You know, I'm gonna bet you just because we got Skrulls in it at some point. We're going to see some Skrull shape-shift into something that looks like the original classic
Nick Fury.
Okay. Which I don't know if you know this or not, because I really wanted to know, so I went and researched this. The Nick Fury in the comics that looks like Sam Jackson, which it was actually modeled after him.
There's Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nick Fury in the Ultimate Comics was modeled after Sam Jackson. It's actually the son of the other Nick Fury. Like he had an affair with a woman and had a son, and this is the son of that other affair is the Sam Jackson Nick Fury.
So
at least that's the way that I understand it. I didn't read all the comics that led up to it, but I mean, I read a bunch of summaries of them because I wanted to know like what was going on between the two Nick Furies, what had happened.
Yeah, I think that Sam J Nick Fury, if he really is the son of the OG Nick Fury, man, that dude got a craving for some coffee, man. He had to put a little cream in the coffee. So Sam J, I could live with that. Sam J being a biracial Nick Fury. So
I mean, it's comic books, so you know it is what it is. I mean, people get brought back to life. To have some white dude have a black son, is that really the craziest thing that we could say we've seen happen in comic books?
I've seen some dark-skinned biracial people, so
there you go.
I've seen some dark-skinned biracial.
I mean,
man. If anybody got some explaining to do, it's OG Nick, because it's just like, hey, when did you get into Janet Jackson and all that? When did you start seasoning your chicken? What is going on here, bro?
I opened the door to this, and this is what happened. Okay. Yep. Unless anyone has some other wild theories, which I don't think we do, or just anything else to talk about Secret Invasion, Deontay, do you want to move on?
Oh, my score for that, I'll give it an 8, a solid 8.
That's fair.
That was a pretty good intro, and I'm hopefully expecting to see a confrontation soon with Rhodey and Nick, because the president sent him after him. So,
do you think we'll see War Machine?
I think War Machine's about to pull up within these next 2 episodes,
and we're still supposed to get the Armor Wars movie. It was supposed to be a series. Now it's going to be a movie. We don't know when it's going to come out, but we're supposed to still get it.
Yeah, it's all these rumors about like Frank Castle appearance and Frank getting a suit. It's just like, God.
Wait. Oh, in Armor Wars. Oh, please do so. Well, we won't really know anything until September, because guess what? No one wants to show up at Comic-Con anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
It's awful.
Dude.
I wish this writer strike would end so that people can go back to work.
I know. Hopefully it'll end soon. I mean, DGA just made a new deal, so hopefully the writers' strike will end by fall, because they need to get on their stuff.
Help us out. We'll pay you ourselves, please.
Hell, I want to be a writer. You don't need to pay me. I will just write for free. I don't care.
That's my dream job. Let me screenwrite. I'll show them how it's done for the low payment.
Same.
I don't care.
I mean, anyone on here knows that how much I want to write Blackest Night. I don't even need to be paid for that. I just want to write it. I don't need to be paid. I just want to write it and have it being put on screen and just see the beauty of it happen.
Yeah, I would definitely write my own Static Shock storyline and then adapt it into live action. And then I would take it for dental benefits. I don't even need a paycheck. Can I go to the dentist for free? Like, oh, okay, yeah. I'll write the story.
I hear that. All right.
I just want to watch y'all's stories when you get them wrote and get the animations made. Let me watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Black Clover time.
I'm ready.
Black
for
Clover time, ladies and gentlemen. Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King, the movie that just came out on Netflix and is already dominating the hell out of it.
From what I hear now, just because I have not watched a single thing of Black Clover, so I know nothing about this movie. You're all are gonna mostly hear Deontay and Kenny just geek the hell out. I don't even know what Black Clover is really about. What, magic, wizards? Like, I know nothing.
Yes.
It starts with a young boy by the name of Asta, who was kind of like adopted at birth with a kid born around the same time as he is. We don't acknowledge him. His name is Yuno, but he's cool. But
He's cool, you know.
Asta is the man. That is the main protagonist. That's what deserves all the love. Lady Killer, the resident dumbass. We love him. Standard Shonen Jump, cold motherfucker. And his power is that he doesn't have magic, and his first grimoire is like the book with 5 clovers on it, I believe, if I'm correct. Yep. And the 5th clover, like there's 3 clovers, 3-leaf clovers has different symbols to it, and the 4th is like good luck, and then the 5th is like a devil. And he ended up getting that 5th grimoire, which allows him to pull out a sword that nullifies magic. And his journey just goes on from there. His goal is to become the Wizard King of the Clover Kingdom. And then his journey ever since has just been opening up a can of whoop ass up until the series ended at like the tail end of season 2 or something like that. It was 100 and something episodes on Crunchyroll.
131.
So the actual anime, like manga, it's ended, and this movie takes place after.
Yeah, the manga.
No, the anime ended mid-manga.
Okay.
And they made this movie that is totally separate from, it was never in manga form, and it's totally separate from the manga and the previous anime. It's just got the characters that were in the anime in the movie.
Like most anime movies are. They have nothing to do with the actual story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just making sure I got my everything straight.
Yep. You're right. But now the anime has ended, but they are supposed to bring it back. But there's no definite time on that, or even a definite yes or no that it's going to happen. But you know, it's kind
of similar to how like Bleach ended years ago, and now they're finally bringing it back to end the story properly.
Yeah.
Yes and no. They said they were going to bring it back. Like the animation staff said that what the plan was they were stopping the anime series because they had just done 130 episodes and had barely taken any time off for like I want to say it was like 3 years that it was coming out, and then they took a break, made the movie, and now they're going to start working on the anime again. Is what the layout of what they gave us at one point. Now, whether that's actually going to happen or not, we'll all have to wait and see.
If the animators for One Piece can make 1,000 episodes after 25 years and still keep going, these guys from Black Clover can keep going for like a couple more years.
They have no excuse at this point.
They kind of don't, to be honest.
I
back in the kitchen and cook.
But that's just, we can say what we want, but that's not how the reality of it works.
No, I know.
It sucks. I'd love for them to come back. I'm
patiently awaiting it. It happens. I mean,
right.
everyone said the same thing about Bleach. I mean, I've said the same thing about like Zatch Bell. Like, bring it back, because I loved that as a kid. But still, I mean, I know nothing about this, but from everything I've heard from about Black Clover from people like you guys who watch it, like they all love it. Like I don't think I've heard really anything bad or negative about it. But you guys saw the movie. Like, what did you guys think?
Ooh, man, you want to go first,
awesome.
Hibachi?
I think the movie was really great. I just have to say that there is CGI. It's like 3D CGI, some form of computer generated animation in it, but it's very, very good, high quality CGI. So
a lot of shows, a lot of animated and live action, their CGI is not always great, and yet whenever I watch a lot of anime, like their CGI almost done like spot on, weirdly.
I will be honest, man. I'm really not a fan of a lot of it. A lot of people love like Kengan Ashura on Netflix. I hate that show.
Me too.
It is the most horrible animation. It makes my eyes hurt. Like, I think they bled at one point. The
manga is
Seven
incredible.
Deadly Sins, Grudge of Edinburgh. I watched like 7 minutes of that, and I regret it because I will never get that 7 minutes of my life back.
That trailer was hell on wheels too.
Oh man, I never liked any of the trailers for it. I thought that it was all horrible. That it just never looked good. And I feel the same way about like Dragon Ball Super, the superhero movie that came out. Like when it comes out and I finally get a chance to watch a good copy of it, I'm gonna watch it. But I think that it is gonna be complete shite. I don't like that kind of animation. The ones that have really surprised me, like Spriggan on Netflix, was great. That is a really heavy on CG animation, but it is amazing. The new Trigun series, if you haven't watched that,
that's pretty cool.
That is probably the best computer generated animation that I've ever watched ever. Like that show is just completely beautiful.
Yes. Some of the CGI for One Piece has gotten a great reputation so far. I hope it stays that way.
It has been really good since they came back from the hack. I'm sorry, Cam, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying like the newer episodes, like One Piece's animation and CGI has always been great, but they've always gotten better over the years, especially like the newer episodes.
Yeah. Seeing Kaido CGI in his dragon form. We may see that again for Gear 5th Luffy.
It was like when the hack happened and Toei lost all that animation. It was like they had people come in, and when they redid it, they just did everything like at the highest level that they could perform at the time. So everything that's coming out is crisp and beautiful. I was watching Dragon Quest Adventures of Dai, and after the hack happened and it came back, it was the best animation it had been the whole time as well. But getting back to what we're talking about now, Black Clover, the CG animation in it was top notch. Like I wouldn't say it was better than Trigun. It was different, but it flowed really smoothly between the 2D and the 3D. So that's a big important thing to me, that I don't see a lot of change up between the two, and it flowed really smoothly and looked really good. So I don't think anybody will, aside from me, will probably have any problems with it. My picky old ass.
Yeah, it didn't distract me so much. I noticed every usage of it, but it didn't like distract me from the plot. So I appreciated that they kind of moderated themselves a little bit, because it felt
Right,
like
right.
something just hit me in the mouth. Yes. The CGI was pretty decent. I agree on that. They put in just the right amount. Like when they were in the Coliseum, like you can see the camera panning in CGI, or the characters talking to each other. You can kind of see their heads panning a little bit too. And I was like, okay, that doesn't bother me too much. But when they got to fighting, and you could see like in certain moments where the attacks would actually be CGI, I was like, that's actually pretty cool. I could get down with that. And they never miss when it comes to fights. So you when you watch Black Clover, like if you don't like anything else about this show, you will love those fights. And it's been that way since the anime, and they kept it consistent in the movie too. And just to see like, so the premises of the story is that they're trying to protect the Clover Kingdom from 3 previous Wizard Kings, to keep them from destroying it. So they made one attempt in the past, and Julius, the current Wizard King, was able to seal off the strongest one. And then something happened in the anime that made Julius a kid, or he's not as powerful as he used to be. And as soon as he became a kid, that powerful Wizard King got loose, got some more backup, and then they just tried to raid the Clover Kingdom. And it was no joke. They had everybody that was there to defend the place. They had to go all out just to defend it from the Wizard King and his group.
Yeah, I think that what happened was that he used Julius's own, because with his key magic, he can use other people's magic. And
Yeah,
because he even says it at one point that his own key magic isn't very powerful, but it's that he is able to use other people's magic. And I think he went back into the past and got those 3 other wizard kings from the past and brought them forward. And that's how he, brought them. It was that he used Julius's magic and the magic that was stored in the sword.
yeah. I honestly like the fact that he resurrected them, and they are all just like, I'm willing to fight about this, and we all agree that the Clover Kingdom's got to go. And it's just like, can you talk to the people of Clover Kingdom first? But now I kind of get it, because some of them have like personal reasons to why they want to destroy the entire kingdom, and the other one's just like, I'm just here for the freaking ride and all the fighting. And I thought that was pretty cool that they did that too. So every Wizard King had their own personality, and then the one Wizard Queen, who dubbed herself the Wizard King, she was such a badass, and that's honestly one of my favorite characters that I just met through this movie. And she had an epic fight scene with Mario Leona, who is not the captain of the Crimson Lions, but she is the older sister of the captain. And those two, I feel bad for even saying it's a cat fight. That was 2 fucking leopards going off on each other. Like that wasn't no cat fight. That was predatory. Yeah.
Her name is Princia Funny Bunny.
Yeah.
I went and looked up their names because I wanted to know, and I'm laughing at their names because they're all kind of funny.
Yeah.
The main guy is Conrad. The main Wizard King bad guy is Conrad Leto. Then you got Edward Avalanche. Then Princia Funny Bunny and Jester Garanderos.
I couldn't pronounce it either. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that should be pronounced a different way, but yeah, when I was looking these up, I kind of noticed something else too that I thought was cool. English voice cast. Chris Sabat plays Yami Sukihiro. Yami is, obviously the captain of the Black Bulls. Chris Sabat is like legendary voice actor. He was the English voice actor of Vegeta in this show that you guys may have heard of, Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
he was Julius Louis Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but he's like big muscle, manly man.
Like,
Oh gosh, I met him in Texas a long time ago, and I collected this game, Dragon Ball Z trading card game, and so I had these certain ones that were like a special foil. They were from the World Championship deck, but that's beyond the point. I got him to autograph them, and like Vegeta's my favorite character, always has been, and like my favorite line was when he turned Super Saiyan, and he's like, "I'm the Prince of all Saiyans once again." And when I met Chris Sabat, I was like, would you do that line? And dude grabbed a microphone and turned it on and stood up, and like over the loudspeaker, the whole convention going on. It was Wizard World Texas. He did that line for me, man. I got goosebumps. Like,
awesome.
yeah, it was badass. He had in all my cards, he autographed them, he personalized them, put like little sayings on them and stuff. So I was like, man, that's cool. He's a really good guy. It was awesome to meet him.
Yeah, I think he comes to Cape Comic Con, doesn't he? Or he comes to Cape Anime, one of those two. I thought he was here like last year.
I do not know. I did not make it to that one, but I would love to meet him again. It was awesome, I didn't sit and talk to him very long. There was a long line, but even with the long line there waiting to talk to him at this Wizard World Texas, he took the time to, stand up and do that. And by stand up, it really didn't change how tall he was. He's not a very tall guy. So standing up, sitting down, he was about the same height. It kind of looks like Krillin, who was another voice that he did for a while. So, I don't mean no disrespect. I like Krillin, man, so don't be mad at me.
I mean, Krillin's real. I give him this props for knocking down Android 18. I'm proud of him. You might not be the dude that takes on Majin Buu and Cell and get your dubs, but you got the dub the way that you're supposed to get a dub. You got the bedroom dub. I'm proud of you, son. That is probably the finest character in the whole Dragon Ball world, and she's iconic on so many levels. And I don't think I see a whole lot of like I see Bulma cosplay, but I see a whole lot more Android 18 cosplay.
I've seen Bulma, I've seen Android 18, I've seen Chi-Chi, Videl. It just depends on who people prefer.
That's Krillin's woman.
Yeah, Meredith Atkinson was there too that day. I met her too. It's the voice of Android 18.
The English? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
her voice was hot. I still remember it from my childhood.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. She looked good, but I mean, it wasn't like about that at the time. So
yeah.
I'll tell you what caught my eye more than her at the con was the girl walking around in the chainmail armor and nothing underneath of it.
Oh boy.
I was like, what?
Ma'am, excuse you, like. Yeah, I've seen some great chainmail cosplays. Like when I was in Nashville, there was one person that showed up in the contest and had a whole fully chainmail knight's outfit. I don't know what she was referencing when she was cosplaying, but it was pretty dope that she made it all herself. That was pretty impressive.
That is awesome.
Let's see. Oh yeah,
I was gonna say I have a buddy that makes chainmail, but you met him the other day, Roy.
Yeah, Roy's the man. And shout out to Roy as well. I forgot to tag him the other day in that post about everybody's Facebook pages, and so he could get more support. But I'll definitely go backtrack on that one later. As far as Black Clover goes, as a movie, I would definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen the anime, it's only like 130 something episodes, so you can catch up in a decent amount of time. So just so you can have that bond with the Black Bulls. That's the team of Magic Knights, I believe it's called, that Asta is on. Yep. So if you get to know the Black Bulls, that's all you need to know. And
but honestly, I will say that if you wanted to just jump into the movie and watch the movie, with it being not part of the storyline that goes on, you can jump into the movie and enjoy the movie just for what it is. Yeah. You will pick up on things that go on and understand how this and that works, because everybody that does anything, they explain a little bit about it. So, even if you had no idea what you were watching when you go in, you would still be able to watch this movie and enjoy it, I do believe.
Well, sure.
Because the Black Bulls, there's like at least 9 or 10 different teams of Magic Knights, and Black Bulls is like the ugly duckling of all of them. But these are all different like mages that have like unique powers to themselves, and they are really good at using them. They've gotten better with the help of Captain Yami Sugihiro, who is a great sensei for them and trains the crap out of them every day. And they've been through some live missions together where it's life or death if you don't succeed. And they have so much camaraderie now that it's one of my favorite teams in anime.
Absolutely. And they really combine well in the house that they're in with Edward.
Yeah.
Edward pulls magic from everyone and uses it to power the house that they live in. And it does several things. They show it to be like kind of a all-around transformer. It turns into a robot with, looks like a bullhead robot at times, Minotaur, I guess you would say. Other times it looks like a spaceship in it. They use gravity magic and shit and fly it around or whatever. There's a lot of power within their house. Vanessa, the witch of the group, has her cat Rouge, who is able to adjust what's called the thread of fate. So whenever they're doing anything, her cat Rouge can pull on that thread of fate, and it helps them lean to the good luck side of things, so that if something that can go good, lucky for them, it does. They've got Charmy, who makes the food, that every time they give their power to Edward to power the ship, she makes a bunch of food, and her power makes the food that she makes give everybody else a magic power boost. So she feeds them, gives them their power back. They give Edward power. They eat. They cycle and cycle and cycle. And it's kind of cool the way that they put all their powers together and made everything.
Yeah, because it was essentially infinite energy for that thing. So it's just like a Megazord on steroids. Basically, it was like
I don't agree, Will, but that's okay.
It turns into something else. But like, I honestly felt like it was kind of like a Megazord, because from the anime, it just fought in that bipedal position, and I just like, all right, that's what I'll dub it. But Charmy's OP, Vanessa's OP, the whole squad is just, even the vice captain that we met like at near the end of the anime, and he's in the movie too.
That dude. Am I dropping spoilers that nobody's going to care about from the manga? Is that okay?
Dude, I've not watched this. You're good.
All right, so Noct has 4 devils. Like Asta has 1 devil that he uses, and he
Yeah,
only semi is able to use his power through most of what we have seen. Noct has a full devil contract with 4 devils, so like he's in a different level from most of the wizards that we see when he steps into it. So
yeah,
yeah, he's a beast.
and he's Yami's right hand man. This is just like so that tells you what type of beast Yami is.
Yeah,
Yami's got some feats with him and his sword, man. It's just like a dark magic that comes out of that sword, and he's able to cut time. He's done a lot of crazy stuff with that sword. Cut dimensions.
I'm gonna say dimensional cut.
Yeah, he cut space itself. Dude, there's no limit to it. The whole Black Bulls team is actually it probably is the most powerful squad in Black Clover. It honestly, if they all win at each
I don't know
other.
enough of them from the other squads to say that, but I mean, if you look at the things that have gone on in the show, they started out with like the whole stars that they compete for, and everybody else had like all these, hundreds of stars, and they had none, and now they're caught up to where everybody else is. So obviously they have progressed immensely since the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I think most of that was because they were like dirtbag mages at first and didn't have any like motivation. But then, like, soon as they recruited Noel and Asa, like their motivation skyrocketed. They taken down some of the craziest villains, and they've taken down like the biggest threats to Clover Kingdom together. And it's just like between Not, Yami, Asta, and Vanessa, just those 4 alone, like you could do a lot of damage in the Clover Kingdom, especially if those 4 are going up against other Magic Knights, like the top 4 of every team.
Right.
Like Black Bulls ain't nothing to fuck with. That's the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah.
Did you catch the saying that Wizard King Conrad had? He's like, my magic is never giving up.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that Asta says, and it's the same thing that Naruto says is his ninjutsu. That's his ninja path, is
his ninja way.
His ninja way is never giving up.
Yes.
So I'm seeing a trend.
Do you think he could potentially be Asta's dad? Like biological?
Conrad?
He could. We've already met his Asta's mother, but I would guess the devil that he has with him is just a brother. But I don't, unless Will is read it in the manga, I don't know if the dad has ever been revealed yet.
Man, I'm gonna tell you that I know I read it, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did. But hang on a second.
Will, do you know if they revealed Asta's dad yet in the manga? Yeah.
Like I said, give me just a moment. I'm looking it up. Like, Rachita is his mother.
Speaking of Wu-Tang Clan, guess who I met? So Billy has met RZA. I ended up meeting Method Man.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, I met Method Man in Vegas, and he was coming in for a concert with Redman, and I was responsible for letting them in and out, the backstage area. So I was like, yeah, I met my hero and my favorite Wu member.
No, so I guess it never did say who his dad was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Will was saying the same thing in the comments. Yeah, Asta's mom is fine as that thing. If y'all haven't met her, just wait. Just wait till you meet her. And her story is kind of tragic too, but I digress. I'm gonna go ahead and give Black Clover Sword of the Wizard King I'll give it a solid A. So that'll be a 9 in my book.
An 8 or a 9.
Yeah, that's about perfect.
I would say that it was really good, and I would probably give it a 9, an 8.5. I'm gonna say 8.5 for it.
Yeah,
I'm
8.5.
9 is pushing it. Like I would say that it was no Jujutsu Kaisen 0, in my opinion. I think it was really good, but JJK 0 was, you know,
that
better
movie
than it
was
for
insane.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to rewatch both of them.
It needed more Toto, but it was good. It was better.
Absolutely.
All JJK needs more Toto, though.
Gotta have more Toto. And honestly, more Ghetto too, but Ghetto's coming just a month from now, so not even a month.
I thought for a second there you said Gojo, and I was like, if you said you want more Gojo, Will would be mad at you.
Will is a diehard Ghetto fan, and I'm leaning toward Ghetto now too. Actually, that was who my dude was from the start. Like I once I caught up with him in the manga, and that's where I left off. I was like, that's my villain between him and Sukuna.
Dead.
Yeah, and it's not
Ghetto's
even the real
dead.
him.
It's Kenjaku now.
Yeah, it's Ghetto's body.
It's pseudo Ghetto.
Pseudo Ghetto.
But see, that's why he can't be my favorite. Is because like I don't like Kenjaku. Like I keep having this thought of like this disembodied brain, like kind of swarming around trying to jump into people's heads. And I'm like, that's just I'm not down with that. That's kind of weird. I don't even want to. That's not what that show should be about.
Yeah, because Will was saying something about her magic is. I don't know if it's canon or not. If she can steal magic from you, Asta can nullify, but it would make sense because Conrad can just steal power. So she's stealing, he's stealing, so it would make a perfect set of parents for Asta.
Conrad was stealing power in the movie, but that's what the sword does. He uses the sword to do it because that's what, to do the thing that he was trying to do in the movie. He's using the sword to suck power from the other mages, and that's why they said it took that long till dawn to be ready, is because that's how long it would take it to suck that much magic up from other people.
Yeah, it was taking magic from him. His key magic is what lets him like steal like the specific like grimoire powers from people, because he stole Noel's like water power too, but he hardly used it. So but I respect it too. So that it could be a great matchup for Asta's mom. I ain't saying it's set in stone, but that's going to be a theory I run with until the manga reveals who the dad actually is.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to know for sure.
Yeah.
And this is the point where I realize, as much of a fan of anime I am, I'm nowhere near as knowledgeable or geek the fuck out as you two, because I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about right now.
Yeah, Black Clover, you really have to be in the kitchen with them to be up on what they're doing, because there's some anime that I don't understand the language at all. Like two people could be experts on it and I'd be out to loot.
I mean,
Clover.
You haven't heard me say too much. That's what it felt like. I could have fallen asleep and y'all wouldn't have even noticed. But
yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, we're about to skate on to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another. Well, you're not caught up on Demon Slayer, are you?
No, but I plan on it soon. I'm probably the small percentage that would rather wait for all the dub to come out than just watch the sub myself.
Yeah,
But
because the dub isn't bad, but the sub. Oh,
I know. I just prefer like to hear it from a language I'll understand. Like, and also the subtitles can be a little bit distracting when you're trying to pay attention to the action.
true.
I know. Thomas feels the same too.
Yeah, we'll probably just cover Flash this round and then briefly go over what happened with Demon Slayer without completely spoiling it for you guys, and then that should do it because just about everything up until Indiana Jones comes out next week. And
well, hold on. Did you at least want to like talk a little bit about like the trailer that we've all been geeking about for the last week now?
Trailer.
Ta-da!
Trailer.
Dude, I'm the one who told you about it.
Trailer. Which trailer was it?
Oh my gosh. Well, what's the one thing that we're all fucking nerds about? The one anime.
Are you talking about dang it. There's been a couple trailers been out, but I haven't seen anything that's released within the past
Week?
7 days.
Dude,
Yeah.
I will paint it on a flag and put a skull and crossbones on it. Please tell me you're getting.
Oh,
Thank
you're talking about live action. Yeah, the
Yes,
live action
thank
One
God.
Piece. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So slow. I'm sorry, but yes. No, Billy. No. I'm
trailer.
not even for flaming hot. Don't ask. Please
Yeah,
don't
so
ask. I thought you would at least want to cover that a little bit.
yeah, we can, but we're like it's getting so close to 9:00. It's just like, man, I want to get out of here and get some food. So we'll probably have to come back around to that. Like if we had like our SNN news segment, we could have covered it right there on the spot.
I know.
Yeah, it's like if we sneak up on 3 hours, all the restaurants will be closed, and I have to eat like a crumb or something in the house. So I'm gonna just get through Flash and Demon Slayer, and then we can call it good for the night. Yeah. So the Flash, man's gotta eat. So speaking of speed, the Flash came out a couple weeks ago, and we all saw that as a gang of nerds and misfits, and with Comically Inclined. So that ended up rubbing some people the wrong way. I know Blake didn't like the CGI, and then there were certain things about the movie that Danny didn't care for. My complaints, I would say I didn't want to see Ben Affleck's ugly ass in the movie.
Dude, you know how much I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
Because of Daredevil, I will never forgive him.
I've never watched Daredevil's Ben Affleck, but still.
Yeah, it was just like
it was great. It was the best movie ever.
Ideas, okay, I love that.
uh,
But no, I mean, well, even though apparently the director Andy Muschietti, if that's how you say his last name, he's said that the CGI, it was to be intentional looking that way. Not all of it was great. Some of it I understand, but I can't agree that not all the CGI was great. But also kind of like the third act, more so like having to do with like the dark version of Barry the Flash. Like they could have definitely done a lot more, because we only saw him like at the very end in like one quick little scene, like near the beginning. And that was it. Like if he was supposed to be the villain, like they could have like done a lot more with it.
yeah.
Can I ask something? So people came out and said the CGI sucked, and the director's defense was that we meant for it to suck.
But no, apparently it was.
I'm not. What was it? Like, we meant for it to be that way.
No, well,
So
I don't think
for it to suck.
I don't think that he meant for it to suck. I think it looked like how we time traveled and just how everything kind of looked when they used CGI. It just looked different, as well as like the CGI they used for like parallel Earths and seeing other Supermen. Like it just looked different. Like it wasn't terrible, all of it, but still,
They
it
had
just you would, if you saw it yourself, you would understand what I'm talking about.
They had like an opening scene in the movie too, where Barry goes to Gotham and he tries
to save babies,
save
Oh my
babies, and it's
God.
nothing but a bunch of baby dolls in the sky
Oh my
and
god.
a
Okay, so
CGI
basically,
dog
like
and
basically like a hospital wing, like a wing of a hospital building is like collapsing, and a room full of babies just like slide out the room, and Barry has to run up and just catch them all and make sure they're all safe. Just one, I was not expecting that scene at all. Like, what the hell? And second, like, the CGI in that wasn't awful, but still, just like, oh god, like, it was just, I don't even know.
I just didn't care
I'd have to
for
watch
it.
it again.
I was like,
It was just like the one thing I wasn't expecting out of everything out of that movie, that I was not expecting or wanting that.
I go to movies straight for the plot. If the plot sucks, then I go in on all the petty stuff.
Man,
So
but no, overall, I did like. It wasn't the cinematic experience that we'd all been hearing about. Like it was like the greatest comic book or DC movie ever. It wasn't the greatest, but it was really good. It was really good.
top tier comedy.
But despite
Top
everything
tier
that's
comedy.
happened with Ezra Miller, all the shit he's pulled, and I do hope and believe that he's getting the help he needs. I really hope so. He actually did a really good job playing two versions of Barry Allen against one another, like two different versions, and he did a really good job of that.
Yeah, after seeing this movie, I honestly still believe Grant Gustin is the best Barry we've had.
Oh no, I agree on that for sure. Grant Gustin is my Flash.
Yeah, performance wise, but the closest to the comics was probably John Wesley Shipp.
Oh god, yes, the Godfather of the Flash.
Absolutely.
And Jay Garrick.
Yeah,
I
and
never
it was
watched
Jay
it.
Garrick in the CW series.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's right. Yeah, but and of course, Michael Keaton was a great Batman. He was a great return, and
Yeah,
even though you didn't like it, Deontay, I loved that we got to see Ben Affleck one more time as Batman, and he actually did a really good job. That was the Batman. That was the Batman I wanted to see. Just like riding through the city, gliding and just like grappling everywhere, and just. That was the Batman I wanted to see in his own movie. Like, god damn it, why didn't we ever get that?
Yeah, a lot of people hate that car chase scene. It's just like I'm not mad or happy with it.
I
I'm
liked
impressed.
it. I liked it. I mean, I would need to watch it again just to be sure, but I didn't have an issue with it, like, at all. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm just super impressed that they wrote his script the way it is, because the way that he talked to Barry was kind of Bruce Wayne-y. And he talked like Bruce Wayne a lot. He's like my least favorite Bruce Wayne out of all of the actors that have played him.
Mm-hmm.
But for that movie specifically, he came with it.
He personally, Ben Affleck is like one of my favorite like Bruce Batmans, and Bruce Wayne. Like Robert Pattinson is one of the best for sure, and Michael Keaton, no question. But still, I really like Ben Affleck for sure.
Yeah, Ben is probably like one of the greater Batmans, but as far as like Bruce, I would say Christian and probably Keaton.
I would at least put Ben Affleck over Christian personally.
Yeah.
Sasha Calle, who played Supergirl, she was great. She was fantastic as Supergirl. Even though we didn't get like as much time with her, like she did a fantastic job as Supergirl.
They owed her no respect in this movie.
Well, to be fair, we kind of knew that like the timeline where she was there, like it wasn't going to work out. But that does not mean that we could never see her again, because it's a different timeline. Like you never know. And she has had talks with like James Gunn and Peter Safran about playing Supergirl more. So she wants to. We want her to. At least I do here.
Well, thanks to Barry, she can actually come back as Mia Kent, because she looks just like Mia Kent.
or Kara Zor-El or whoever, just any version. I know you want her as Mia Kent, but
I just want a blonde Supergirl because it's just like keep the continuity.
Which
Give us
I get that, but also
blonde Barry Allen.
I get that, but also like she kind of looked a little bit more like an L because she had like short dark hair, with kind of similar to Henry Cavill, which I can understand. But
Yeah,
I mean,
for
yeah,
continuity purposes, she did match Henry, but honestly, like James, you know exactly what to do, bro. Just don't.
Just keep her a Supergirl, and if you really want to, dye her hair. I don't care.
Don't just stick any actor in these people's places. Give us something that people can just let their guard down about. Like give us a redheaded Wally West. I am not for the black Wally West at all. Like
what's wrong with Keenan Lonsdale's Wally West?
It takes away so much from the story because it's already the CW version.
I mean,
doesn't make any sense because it's like, oh, Barry got adopted by a black family, and then Wally West is Iris's
son. I mean,
yes.
They do have a black Wally West in the comics now.
They do now because of him.
Yeah.
Modeled it after him. It's just like, yeah, there's some characters that I'd rather not because Wally West is so popular, and if we're going to get an adult Wally West, there was a guy. I'll have to look for it later, but there's an actor that I knew would be the perfect Wally West, and I was on Google. Later. Yeah, I was in Google looking for like the best redheaded actors, and I found a dude that was just perfect for him, and that should be James Gunn's Flash. Don't do Barry again. Get rid of Barry. Use Wally.
Use Wally. But whatever you do, if you're gonna do Batman again, and I know it's not gonna be Ben Affleck, as much as I'm gonna miss him, do not use George Clooney. I love him, but no, like, oh my God, Kenny, George Clooney was Batman at the end.
Oh yeah, have you seen The Flash, Kenny?
No.
I'm very
not
sorry
worried about it either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
No,
I watch rumors and leaks and I don't care about spoilers at all. So
good. Okay.
Yeah. And it's bombing at the box office.
A little bit of an small change where Bruce Wayne went from Ben Affleck to George Clooney.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And it's been at least 20 years or at least 15 years since Batman and Robin. At least 15.
I don't acknowledge him as Bruce or
which is the worst Batman movie ever, and he's like the least favorite Batman.
I was like, whose idea was this to make him Bruce Wayne?
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love George. He's a great actor, but he does not need to be. I like Val Kilmer more than I did George.
Yeah, George could be literally anybody in DC that you want to be, but you made him Bruce Wayne.
I don't know, but I did. It was really cool that they brought him back for this. But even though I prefer Ben Affleck, but I thought it was really cool because he's only been in the one movie, and now he can say I've been Bruce Wayne more than Val Kilmer.
He has. Honestly, George Clooney,
Val Kilmer can't catch up.
I would have casted him as freaking Felix Faust if I wanted to. Like he'll nail anything but Bruce Wayne.
I don't know about that, Felix Faust. Yeah. If you want to cast him in DC, it'd have to be like someone like imposing as well as respected and just menacing as well. I don't know. It could be anyone. But and I read that in order for The Flash to get a sequel, possibly, the box office would have to be anywhere near the Batman's takeaway, which was 700 million. And this movie hasn't even broken 200 million.
Yeah, it's bad.
There's no. I like this movie. I love it, but it's not gonna do it, and we all know why. It's not gonna happen.
Like between like me, Cameron, and all the people that went to go see it, like we've sat and just laughed at everything the entire movie. Like,
but the humor was actually really good. Like it made us laugh. The humor. For the most part, the story, the action, the acting, it was all really good. They made us laugh intentionally, but still, like, we know why this isn't going to be a hit, and we can blame the star.
Yeah, That's probably I think part of the bombing is probably a massive boycott that's on him.
Definitely, and we know that's gonna be the issue with Aquaman too.
God, I'm such a biased Aquaman fan too. I hate to see it fail.
Well, I want it to work too, but from everything that we've heard, and also Amber Heard, even her role being critically reduced.
Yeah, for Flash and Aquaman to be two of my favorite DC characters, the very first live action Flash movie is bombing,
Well,
and then Aquaman 2 is scheduled to bomb, and it's just like,
hey,
what world is this?
Hey, Aquaman made $1 billion, so at least he's got that, and he is a great Arthur Curry. And,
he really is.
And despite however much money this movie fails to make, this is still a great movie for sure. And definitely. And I do like that we got to see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman one more time.
Oh, yeah, we saw Gal
with Ben, because I think I've told Blake this, maybe not you, but just the one scene where Diana and Bruce are like, hey to each other. Oh God, you could just feel the chemistry between each other. Like it makes me think every time they're together in a scene of the Justice League version from the cartoon where they were like into each other. That's what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, because that, even though it was brief, it was still pretty fun to anticipate and speculate.
Right.
The very opening scene where they're like rescuing somebody from falling off a bridge, and Gal Gadot uses the lasso of truth. Bruce grabs it, and everybody that's attached to the lasso of truth starts telling the truth. And Bruce just goes off.
Oh God! Oh yeah! If she could make Bruce just tell all his darkest secrets and be like, "You're mine now."
Yeah.
I think she's been in the most movies now. Like, in all honesty, she was been in Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman 1 and 2, Justice League, both versions, and Shazam 2, and now this. I think she's been the most.
Yeah,
up there with me, up there with Jason. I think.
What's that?
I don't think it was actually Gal Gadot in Shazam 2.
No, it was Gal. She was in Shazam 2.
Yeah, they
It was another woman that wore the suit, and they digitally altered and imposed Gal Gadot's face on her. Is what I was told, anyways. That was what
I know it's her.
The end was it that you referring to the whole movie, or just like the opening scene where like Billy is dreaming?
That's what I would think.
Because there's like two completely different gals.
Yeah, Billy had a dream where he was on a date with Wonder Woman, and when he looks up, he sees the wizard's face, and at the end, it's actually Wonder Woman. So it has to be her.
And then there's a completely different Wonder Woman at the end, and that's basically Gal Gadot walking on set.
Yeah,
she lassos like a lightning bolt or something and resurrects Billy Batson. So and I was like, oh, okay, respect. I can dig that. So I don't know. It could be a woman with her face special effected on, but it seemed as real as it gets.
And I thought it looked really funny when I saw it, but then like I don't remember where it was. I read something, an article that said something about it, and I was like,
if anything, it was probably the dream that you're thinking of. The end definitely had Gal Gadot for sure.
Yeah, that was the real deal, Holyfield. I would say overall, I would give the Flash movie, I think I gave it a B+ the last time we talked about it, but it could be a solid B for me. I think I'm gonna go with solid B.
I'd say strong 7.5, maybe an 8, like a solid B+ at least for like an actual first Flash movie.
Yeah, I'm half tempted to just go ahead and say B- just because it's like if I scooted any closer to the A section, it's gonna be standing there with greats like across the Spider-Verse and all of those guys.
Right, because this is summer for great movies, and this is barely making the cut.
Yeah, and Flash and Across the Spider-Verse are two different leagues right now in
Yes,
box
they are.
office sales. It's
Hell, I think Transformers is doing better than the Flash right now.
yeah, I think I saw that this morning on Facebook too. It was like, oh my god, why is Flash doing that bad?
Yeah. Transformers already made like nearly 300 million, while the Flash is only broke 175 million.
That's
That's kind of sad.
They need to put some respect on Barry Allen's name, man.
I mean,
One live action movie we get for Barry Allen, and it's
well, maybe not the only, the first. I mean, if not a
problematic.
sequel, another.
Yeah, there'll be a sequel coming for sure, but it'll be a completely recasted dude. I'm hoping it's Wally. They just cast Wally and leave Barry alone forever. But if you go with Barry Allen again, get a blonde actor that doesn't have a mean reputation towards people.
It's like how you feel about Green Lantern. Don't use Hal Jordan. Use anyone else.
Right. And honestly, if you're going to use Jon Stewart, you better not get Idris Elba.
Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner for me personally, but I would not be mad with Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I've already nominated my dude for Jon Stewart. It's Billy Brown. If you watch Sons of Anarchy,
I do not.
He's also the cop in How to Get Away with Murder. If anybody's a fan of that show, so when you see Billy Brown, you see Jon Stewart. So you'll take one good look at him, and it's a wrap. But that's all I had for the Flash, and then we'll go ahead and hop into this final topic. We won't spoil it too much for you, Cameron, but Demon Slayer Season 3 Swordsmith Village arc has just ended like a couple Sundays ago, and it had a hell of a finale.
From what I've heard, like the third season has been pretty epic. I mean, the show keeps getting better and better as it goes on.
Yeah, the Kenpachi wasn't a huge fan of Season 3. And I actually understand. Yeah.
Let's it was still there were amazing parts of Season 3. What I said was that the animation, in particular, the CG animation in this season was not as good as it has been in past seasons. Those fish, and it was for like 3 episodes out of 11 episodes, that those fish looked like shit. Like they look like kind of like cutouts hopping around inside the anime. Now, those were pretty much the worst things that were there. But even other spots, I just felt like some of the other 2D animation as well, aside from when they were doing some of the special moves with the Demon Slayers themselves, like the animation for the swordsmiths and stuff, was not as crisp as like the scenes inside the train during the Mugen Train arc.
Yeah.
It just, the art itself was not as clean, was not as pretty, was not as it drew you in the Mugen Train art. Whereas this kind of felt like things were bouncing around, and I don't know, it didn't have the same quality of animation that drew the same. And I guess that maybe it's ambiance, and maybe they were going for something different with that, but it like I said, it definitely lacked the stories. I felt like we got in the storylines, we got a lot of backstory for the characters, but
absolutely,
we did when it came to the actual fighting, it was like, okay, now it's time to fight. I got out of this. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's over.
Yeah, the fights were not extravagant as season entertainment district was, and you got some powerful Hashira that's present in this battle too. So
right? It's supposed to be the Hashiras of love and mist.
Yep. and Miss is one of he's like the top 3, honestly, maybe top 5. If I'm not reaching, and he's such a nasty dude. He was powerful since he was a kid, and being able to see what's his name, Tokito and Kanroji activate their Demon Slayer marks and then just go berserk on a total upper moon demon. And honestly, they could have won that fight solo. I think there was like Kanroji could have won her fight fair and square, but there was so many loopholes and stuff going on with the dude she was fighting. He got all these different bodies. Yeah.
Right. I think that she needed Tanjiro to help her know what was going on with that guy.
Yeah. There's so many different heads that they had to cut off. Tanjiro had to cut at least 2 heads off before they could finally figure out if Kanroji could get her kill in.
Right, because in the entertainment arc, they had to cut both heads off at the same time. So yeah, that is kind of getting a little bit trickier, but still, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was quite a challenge. The other upper moon, he's a little bit too high up in the rank for what he can do. I like his ability just a little bit, but he is not by any means my favorite upper moon.
My favorite's still Akaza. Even though he took like Rengoku from us, he's still like the best we've seen so far. At least
we're about 2 arcs away from seeing that. So that's dude, we got the Hashira training arc up next when season 4 begins, and I think they're going to put Infinity Castle in season 4 as well. So those 2 arcs are going to be pure chaos. Pure chaos. Like the Hashira training arc might be a little bit slow, maybe same pace as Swordsmith Village, but once you get Infinity Castle, all hell breaks loose in Demon Slayer.
Oh man.
I don't know anything about it. I've never read anything. I don't read ahead. Like, I know a little bit about what goes on, but it's one of the few that I've stayed anime only on.
Yeah, it's honestly not that bad of an experience to be anime only, at least for Demon Slayer. I do think I will agree with you that there is some hits to the overall score for Swordsmith Village arc, because the manga was a lot better executed. Ufotable kind of dropped the ball here and there with Swordsmith Village arc and adapting it. But they handle Entertainment District so well, so I hope they just recover for it with these next 2 arcs, and then we get to see more Upper Moons die, and we'll see some more Hashira die.
Nice.
So brace yourself for that, because the ending of this entire series is not going to be what you expect.
You know what's funny is that I know, and that's when I said that I read ahead. I've not read ahead like the manga, but I know I've read a little bit about, unknowingly read into parts of things that would go on at the end, and so I know how it ends up. I just don't know how it gets there.
Yeah, it's that the build-up's going to be real nice.
Right. I only know like a little bit, like mostly the basics of like what's been out and like what's coming, but I definitely don't know how it ends, and I'd rather like keep it that way. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, it's worth waiting for sure. Some people would go crazy enough to declare it as big 3 for this generation. I honestly don't have no argument against it.
Well, I don't know whether to say. I would definitely say it's one of the big 3, like as far as a generation goes. Although, like, I don't really think that they do that for each generation of anime. But Demon Slayer, honestly, there's no way to say that it doesn't stand in a league of its own.
Yeah,
it's got the most the highest box office sales of any animated movie ever, correct?
Legendary. Mm-hmm.
I can believe that.
Like, it has beat every other anime movie for sure. But I think it's like highest animated movie. I'd have to look that up to be positive, but I know it holds a couple different records, and like that alone says that it's a GOAT.
Yeah, it's top. It's top two almost every country. If it's not number one, it's definitely number two.
Right. So
Like that's how powerful that show is.
100%.
But yeah, overall season 3 Swordsmith Village arc, I'd give it a B minus. I'll give it a B minus. Just to being able to see Tokito and Missouri in action, that was enough for me. But they could have paced that better and stopped in the episodes when we needed some juicy information.
right.
And then I'm probably, well, I guess one more spoiler for Demon Slayer. I was Nezuko conquers the sun in the season 3 finale too, so she's able to stand out in the sun. It's something in her blood that I won't go too far into detail about. That what's his name? Kibusuji. Oh, Muzan Kibusuji is after, so Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson is probably going to come for her, come straight for her pretty soon, and all these events that's coming next is going to lead to his lair, the Infinity Castle. That whole arc is just like all out blood fest. So it's so we got a lot of death to look forward to now.
Oh boy.
So is that what happened in Nezuko? Because I wasn't quite sure. I didn't look up anything about it, but I wasn't sure. She didn't get turned back to human then.
She still kept like her demon powers and her demon form, but she was able to stand in sunlight, and it's just like, at first, every well, at least for the anime only guys, everybody thought she was dead because she stood out in the sunlight and she couldn't escape. So like everybody cried and freaked out and whatnot. It was like, wow, Nezuko just got killed off. And then she stands up and walks up behind Tanjiro while he's crying on the ground because he thought his sister's dead. And she's like, she can talk, and it's just like, what? She got the little pacifier out of her mouth and everything. She still got her demon fangs and demon eyes, but it's like seeing Nezuko talk again in the anime. It hits harder than the manga, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely did.
It's like, dude, that is one hell of a finale. But now we get to see what's his name, Inosuke and Zenitsu again next season, so the boys will be back.
That's cool. I'm glad to see them again.
Absolutely. Fact checker extraordinaire and human relations specialist of Comically Inclined, Ben Stewart, has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I know the notifications are kind of like a little wonky and all that. You caught us at like the tail end of the show, but we definitely will have some video footage, and we'll make some clips of it too, like to highlight all the good stuff that we talked about. And we'll call him MJ. He was talking about Muzan Kibusuji. Yeah, B minus sounds about right for Swordsmith Village. Next month it's going to be like an all anime episode because there's not a whole lot of Marvel and DC stuff going down. So Kenpachi, you're more than welcome to come back. I know Cameron will be excited for that, and Will's going to be excited for that. So we got between Mushoku Tensei, Jujutsu Kaisen, Bleach, the second core, and a whole lot of other great animes just dropping in that same month.
I don't even watch none of that, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caught you
Maybe-
red-handed.
Maybe some of it.
Yeah. Next episode we'll definitely cover Flaming Hot as well.
Oh yeah, Flaming Hot. He's talking about that time that I filled the bathtub with Flaming Hot Cheetos and laid in it naked, and we all took pics. Right? That's what it was. That's what he's talking about.
You can find that on Kenpachi's OnlyFans. So if you if
Only
you just,
$3.99.
it's true, $3.99 a month. You can see him in the bathtub with hot Cheetos. Yeah.
That doesn't even sound pleasant. Like,
It's not
where
like
would
it
those
hurts.
Cheetos get, and what would it take to get them out?
Oof. Especially if they go in any of those wrong holes.
Right. Okay, yeah, we need to stop talking about this.
Yes.
This was a bad idea.
It was fun while it lasted. So, did you give your score for Swordsmith Village?
No, I did not. I would say C plus, B minus. You know, in the 7.5 range. I definitely don't think it was their best season, but it wasn't like bad. It just wasn't what I expect as quality from them.
Yeah,
I expect better.
I understand that because those first two seasons set the bar pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that they relaxed on their whips. They need to bust the whips back out at the animation studio.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, they work for animators too hard. I'm just playing, but but I just think that like maybe they take it slower next time. Give them a few more days. Give them 2 more episodes to stretch the story out. You know,
Right.
give us more fighting scenes. But see, there again, that gets into the cost of the animation. It seemed like this season they looked for ways to reduce the cost of the animation. So we got more flashbacks, less fighting, more CG, lower quality CGI.
They should have just took it straight out of Naruto's playbook because one of the Upper Moon demons had wooden dragons, and it's just like I wonder who's done a move similar to that before. Hashirama is like they handled Hashirama perfectly. It didn't need CGI, so they could have done justice to those Upper Moons. I think that is my one complaint about season 3 is the Upper Moons weren't really respected too much, but I do appreciate the Genya appearance and then learning more about the fact that he can eat demons and take their powers temporarily. Like man. And then we get to meet the even cooler Hashieras after them. So it's a great series for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not saying don't watch the season, just that they could have done better. I'm used to Ufotable doing better than what they did.
Yeah, it's just like, man, entertainment art kind of changed the game for a lot of anime, and then it's shooting itself in the foot because it was that good.
Even with Mugen Train art, the Mugen Train, when the movie came out, it did things for that anime that has never been done before. So they can't let the ball drop now.
Right. And the very first season of Demon Slayer too, like the ending fight with Rui and Tanjiro finding out about the Hinokami Kagura, that changed the internet forever. That's one of the most iconic scenes in the anime community that gets talked about. So they got to one up it for these next 2 or 3 arcs.
For sure, they got to bring that fire, especially with 1,000-Year Blood War coming out. Man, let me tell you something.
Yeah, that first core was nasty. This second core is probably going to be just as crazy.
Chainsaw Man got a 2nd season and a movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Deontay, did you ever catch up on Hell's Paradise?
I think I should be 2 episodes behind it now.
So do you think it got better, didn't it?
I ain't gonna lie. The most recent one I saw, I fell asleep through it. But
Dang.
I wish they'd allow me to memorize like the Tensen, like they introduced them one by one with each their different names, but you don't really see too much usage outside of them conversating amongst each other. So now it's kind of, I'm struggling to get to know the villains. I still have a little respect for Gabi Maru, and Will likes the 2 twins. But
Chobe and his brother.
Yeah, it's still kind of a struggle. I'm not thirsty for action, but the story is, I needed to deliver more, because it's like, I don't know if I have a pacing problem with them, or is it just that I have to wait too many episodes to get the information that would have helped earlier. I don't know.
I do feel like they're playing, and it's something that I said to Will earlier today, is that I feel like they're playing a long game with that anime. Like, I feel like it's something that they could have told probably the whole story in 24 or 36 episodes, but the manga was almost 200 chapters, so you're talking like Demon Slayer size. So they're going to try and draw it out for 4 or 5 seasons is what I see.
Yeah.
So you're looking at probably 60 to 75 episodes at least, maybe more. But so I mean that's why I feel like they're trying to drag things out a little bit longer, trying to get more out of it. So they're taking things slower than what maybe they should have. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like watching shows like Jujutsu Kaisen and all of that, and just getting the information that I need without even having to ask for it, like in a decent time frame and all that. That sets the bar high for so many other anime, and like Chainsaw Man did it correctly too. It's just like I want to join in on the hype for Hell's Paradise, but it's maybe these next 2 episodes will push me towards positivity for them, but I would not
say. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would not rank it as high as people are ranking it in this new era of anime.
Well, I don't think from after watching the episode today, episode 12, it did not look to me like it was getting ready to take a seasonal break after this. So I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's either going to have, just keep going for another 12 episodes, or we're going to get a second core in a few months.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's definitely not going to be done at 12 episodes where it's at right now. Like I said, you're only 2 episodes behind, so I know about where you're at. And they're just starting to figure the things out in the, on the island. So I just feel like things are getting to the point where they can start progressing. We've spent this time learning the players and a little bit about the terrain and about things that are going on, and now we're ready to start progressing through the story.
Yeah, so, I have a suspicion deep in my mind that the manga is significantly better than the anime. This might be the studio's problem on how they're choosing to adapt it versus
that
the story.
Very well could be.
Yeah, that reminds me of like God of High School and the situation they were in with Mappa.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people did not like God of High School. I loved it. Like I watched every episode. I've watched that so many times. Like I watched God of High School 4 or 5 times through fully.
Yeah, if I rewatch the whole series multiple times, it'd probably grow on me. But that first watch through was rough because I couldn't remember characters' names for the life of me. The way they handled that was kind of. I respect the fact that they got straight to the fighting and it went crazy on the animation for the fights, but it's like I have to watch it again if my opinion needs to change on it.
Like I said, for me, it was just one that I enjoyed, but I heard right after I watched it, like a lot of people, same thing with Tower of God. I liked that, and a lot of other people didn't enjoy that at all.
I love Tower of God. That was adapted correctly.
I really enjoyed it as well. I liked it a lot. I was hoping that both of those would come back.
I thought Tower of God was coming back. Or maybe there's just rumors floating around that a season 2 is in the works or something.
I'm gonna tell you, I heard that about both of them for years after they came out, and it's been a while since I've heard anything about it. So I would be surprised if anything did happen with it, but I would love to see it happen.
Yeah, if anything, we might get an announcement tomorrow. Yeah, by the way, this is also coming out in July. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Deontay sees the future.
But yeah, that's all I got for like these other topics. Did you have anything big coming up with Black Cat Soaps and Sundries?
Nah, man, we're doing the markets every other weekend out at the Riverfront Market here in Cape, and then the end of September, 1st of October, got the Cape Comic Con coming up. So
yeah, so you'll be able to shop at Black Cat Soaps and Sundries. It's like late September, the last week of September, first week of October. And you also see Saturday Night Nerds there with Comically Inclined. We're all doing a panel and other cool stuff. And I was going to go to the Riverfront today, but it was so much stuff going on that I couldn't make it. But
it was so hot out today, man. I'm glad you didn't come out because you'd have just melted. It's all we did the whole day.
Yeah, I went outside with no sunscreen. But
yep. And do you feel it now?
Me?
Yeah. How long were you out in the sun with no sunscreen? I said, do you feel it now?
Not yet, but fingers crossed I might start peeling in the morning and not even know it. It's like I always find out about sunburns after the peeling begins, and I only got sunburned once.
Right. Man, I don't get a whole lot of sun, but I guess I get just enough that I get a little bit of color to me, and then I don't burn too often. So that's good.
Nice. That's good genes.
Yep. So but I also try not to go outside. I'm a vampire, so that might help.
That's fair. Also, Ben Stewart mentions Fan Expo Chicago, so that's where you can catch the Saturday Night Nerds crew at as well. That's like the first week of August. So the first weekend in August, you can find our Facebook page at Fan Expo Chicago, and so we'll all be there for that weekend. I think it's like 4 days long, and Comically Inclined has got a panel, and then you'll see my face up there, and Will and Cameron if they can make it as well.
I should definitely be able to make it.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great time. I love me some Chicago. And also, episode 7 may be announced pretty soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything next Sunday. That's my birthday. So at the very least, I'll be watching Mushoku Tensei. Ooh, absolutely hot pot. It's been a while. I used to do hot pot on the West Coast because Arizona was loaded with them when I was still in the military. And unfortunately, Cape Girardeau has absolutely no hot pots.
Yeah.
But so as far as episode 7 goes, we're still waiting on the confirmation on that one. SNN late nights is going to be the other Saturdays. That's not the same as the main podcast. Also, we got more Jacob's film perspectives coming. The next episode, he's going to do like a massive movie coverage. So anybody that's available and seen these movies that we haven't covered yet, you're more than welcome to jump in and help him cover them. He's going to go in depth about Flash and some others. I think he's doing Indiana Jones too. So the date that goes live is going to be announced pretty soon as well. And then this week coming up, we have the Indiana Jones marathon. So Comically Inclined and Saturday Night Nerds on Thursday is going to watch the first 2 Indiana Jones movies together on a watch along, and then the Friday we'll watch the other 2 before we go to the theaters to see Dial of Destiny.
Right on.
So we'll make an announcement about that as well. So y'all stay tuned. But Cameron, you got any news for the audience?
I mean, nothing that can wait. No. I mean, everyone's already seen the trailer. Then just like heard like all the games that we're going to be getting out this fall. Fall's going to be a good time for gaming for sure, and just everything that we won't know about Disney or Marvel until fall, September.
Yeah, July is going to be like the anime month, and like August is just going to be all out, balls to the wall, Star Wars, DC.
Marvel.
I think something going down in Marvel too in August. So August is going to be fun.
Either that or September for Disney D3.
Yeah, and that's D3 is where they're supposedly announcing the Fantastic Four cast,
as well as however many more movies or what's really going on.
And maybe we'll get some confirmation on these upcoming Star Wars film too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's right at 9:32-ish. So it's not bad. So we're almost at the 3-hour mark. Thank you everybody for coming out to see episode 6 with us. It was a great show. Thank you, Kimpachi and Cameron, for helping out. Shout out to Danny, Blake, and Ben for coming through as well. Honestly, like we might need to figure out how to get Ben in here if we do an anime special for next month. I'm sure Ben will drop some knowledge on us.
Probably.
Danny knows his anime too, so that'd be pretty good. Good topics coming to talk about. But yeah, if you guys don't have anything else, then that's it for me too.
No.
All right then.
Have a good night, y'all.
You
Yes,
guys,
sir.
Thank you for tuning in. This was season 3, episode 6. Stay nerdy, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys for the next show.